Hello and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. I'm FuFuCuddilyPoof and this is level 160. Joining me tonight is KooshMoose.
Hello.
Rockerdo 5012.
Salutations. Hello.
And Big Nope. No Big L on this one. There's no sandwich talks on this show. Instead of Big L, we have the Weeb of a Million Names, the co-founder of Beers of Boosting, and Ireland's own White Claw ambassador. We have none other than NOTH.
What is the crack, lads? How you doing?
I have no idea what you just said.
What is the crack, lads? How you
crack?
doing? I speak NOTH now.
Yeah.
many long nights and beers and boost.
I would say it's crake. It's crack. It's not crake.
No, it's crack. You pronounce it crack.
Okay.
What's crack-a-lackin', you know? And it's in honor of NOTH. I got the official AH101 drink of level 160, which is a White Claw.
Jeez.
Just
bad.
for this. Cheers, NOTH. Thanks for joining us.
As do I.
There it is.
That was not planned, by the way.
That was not planned, actually, but we got him.
I got a water.
Crack him if you got him, boys.
Clams up.
I'll let
Ain't
y'all
no
drink. I
loss
don't drink,
tonight.
so.
No. Oh, that is the worst flavor I've had.
Yeah, I would trade you. I'm currently sipping on a black cherry.
Yeah, I'm on mango. I don't do like weird fruits in my drinks.
Oh, I would take that weird fruit in my drink.
Isolate that. Brief isolate that.
I definitely don't want a black cherry
That's the top.
in my drink.
Oh my god.
All right. Wow. 20 seconds into the show, we're already talking about White Claw. I don't know what else I expected. So, NOTH, you're our guest of honor tonight. For those that aren't in the Discord and don't know your infamy, tell us about yourself. What games you play? What got you into gaming? Who is the NOTH behind the craziness of the Discord?
I'll try to keep this one relatively short, I suppose. Started gaming. My earliest memory is sitting beside my mum whenever I was super young, maybe 6 or 7, and she was playing Resident Evil and Aliens vs Predator on the Jaguar. And then ever since then, I just think video games, I've always maintained that video games, the reason I got into them so heavily was her. But yeah, I sort of got older and I got interested in how games actually worked. So whenever I would play them and stuff, I would just purposely try to break them. Just because it seemed kind of fun to do. And then after a while, I ended up just sort of getting a job in QA testing, at least collusion testing and stuff like that there, just trying to figure out if indie devs, can I fall out of your game when I'm playing it? Yes.
You know, I had a friend like you a long time ago with Halo 3. Every time I built a map, all he would do was just try to get out of the boundaries over and over again.
That
drove me nuts.
That is what's fun to me, though, when it comes to video games. It's I don't care how long you've spent making your video game. The quicker I can break it, the more fun it'll become to me.
Oh, dude, it would drive me nuts. I'm like, we would be playing, and then all of a sudden it's just where's Gab? Where did Gab go? How did he get out of this map? I
Killed
spent
by
an
the
hour
Guardians.
trying to Gab-proof this.
The answer to the infamy question is I just ended up finding a lot of console commands and stuff in Windows 10 games, and unfortunately made a couple of enemies on TA, and including this Discord, Mr. Icefire, Inferno, Jimbot, to name a few. I ruined their pathologic TA, but thankfully we're all friends now.
Water under the bridge.
Wow, I forgot about that.
But
Wait,
yeah.
you found the Discord through console commands?
Yes.
No.
Well, I found the Discord through...
No, he found enemies in the Discord.
Found enemies in the Discord through console commands.
Oh, okay.
I found the Discord because I asked a very simple question on TA. I was just does anybody have any fun Discords that are just sort of fun to hang out with? And I think it was Red047. He said the AH101 Discord, so yeah, I just rocked up that day. I think it was last summer.
It was in August of 2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just had your birthday.
Yeah, I did. I just had my birthday. Me and Inigo and a couple of the boys celebrated it in Beer and Boostin'.
Here's a little NOTH trivia for all of you. Maybe not for NOTH, because I did share it with him the other day. You guys, Fufu and Koosh, I mean, Fufu I know does to some extent. Koosh probably doesn't, but I look at the podcast's Twitter the most, probably. Or at least maybe when we first started. And I knew about NOTH close to when we started the podcast, like within the first 6 months. And
wait, like you've been following us since then, or you just saw him in like circles?
He tweeted us. That's how I saw him.
Really?
So I tracked down his tweets the other night when we were just in Beers and Boosted, which has been a fun thing. And I'm not going to read them all. I'm just going to read one, probably the earliest one I could find. And like I had my preconceived notions of the guy. I knew he was Irish and he had some tattoos. And but anyways, here's the tweet from December 13th, 2018. That was the first year we made a thing. And he said, "Ed Achievements 101. Ever need an Irish whore to get drunk on your podcast sometime and talk about speedrunning and trash video games? Give me a shout." So
there is no way a self-fulfilling prophecy hit that close.
Almost just under like 2 years, and he joined the Discord, and just under 3 years from that tweet, almost he's on the podcast.
Oh my
so there we go.
God,
wow, that is not lore.
That's actually ridiculous.
Chase your dreams, kids. So... Chase your dreams.
Yeah, like Mama did it.
We need to retweet that the day this show drops, because as of right now, nobody knows that you're a guest.
Yeah.
So we got to retweet that when this drops.
Oh, that's
I'm going to set a reminder right now.
Yeah, that's actually a good shot.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I can't believe that. My face is going red. I can't believe that. I can't believe you found that tweet either. It's 3 years ago.
Yeah. You had some weird times back in Twitter.
The internet is forever, my friend.
Yeah.
Unless you're on the TA forums.
Wow. All right.
Mark it 10 minutes.
Oh. Still, the burn is still real on that one, Koosh.
All right. Well, with the intros out, let's get into our news for the week. The first one's actually topic of discussion from Corey.
You want me to read it? Because apparently nobody understands.
Well, I think the two of them got what Corey was throwing down. I didn't. I took it in a very different direction. But yeah, go for it and read it.
So the question, because imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I heard on another podcast. So the question is, what is your gaming-related white whale? So given unlimited funds, Mr. Beast comes along, says, what do you want? You can get one thing, anything in the gaming world. What would it be and why? So a couple people took, their own liberties to, turn that to what they mean. I thought it meant like, getting something physical and getting one thing. Some people went a little above and beyond. So Chewy, our own Chewy, said unlimited funds. Well, in that case, a new house with a dedicated cinema, gaming room with a massive screen, comfy chairs, an amazing sound system. That way, all the crappy pixel art indie games I tend to play will really pop. Well, since I said one thing, you can have one comfy chair, buddy. That's all you can get.
Enjoy your crappy games.
That's right. Lego had added on to that, saying, "Oh, we're pursuing a super house. I don't think there's anything I've ever wanted from the world of gaming." So he's just going to, keep doing what he's doing. He can maybe if he could support his family through gaming, he said he would do that. So neither of them really answered it in the way I would. I would probably just pick something super rare. I don't have anything sentimental. I don't have the space to collect anything, so I don't. So there's nothing that I could add to an existing collection. At one point in my life, I did have an NBA Jam machine that you would see in an arcade at a bowling alley or something.
What? That's cool.
I don't. Yeah, it was pretty fun. The the opening. We didn't have it. It wasn't locked or anything, so we just swung it open and hit the little lever. So instead of entering your own quarters, you just had unlimited credits. And it was from downtown. It was really fun. I don't know if I would get one of those again because I still don't have space to put it, but I don't know. I would probably pick like I'd probably be like an NES new in box or something like that. Maybe Mario, something like that. I don't really have a specific thing, but probably some kind of physical game from a long time ago, brand new in box, just to keep. Or maybe sell later at a big fortune at the rate things are going.
That real big fortune.
I would say I'll buy Super Mario 64 or whatever the $1.5 million game is, but I think that's pretty stupid that sold for that much, and it won't ever happen again. Maybe I'm wrong.
Wait, what about Mario 64? That sold for $1.5 million?
Yeah,
I think it was Mario 64.
It was Mario 64, but it was minted at like a 9.8 or something. I think it was.
Wow.
Which is the highest that has physically been gotten so far. So.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I'm sure there's no laundering of any money going on with that or anything.
Wow, those are big words.
Oh boy.
So yeah, that's kind of where my head was going with it. But
also, why didn't you ever have that NBA Jam machine in your house? Have a party, but then make guys pay quarters.
I don't know. I think quarters got stuck in it, but I also wasn't a party guy. They were definitely not happening at my house. So yeah.
So, fun fact about NBA Jam, I heard this on some YouTube video or whatever I was listening to. Apparently, a lot of the developers in the office were Bulls fans, and there was one dude who was a Pistons fan, and the guys that are fans of the Bulls would always like make fun of the Pistons and like trash talk him. Well, he secretly one day added in some coding of his own for the game. Well, basically, if it's ever the Bulls versus the Pistons, he made it to where the Bulls literally cannot make a shot in the final minute of a game when it's going against the Pistons.
That's pretty awesome.
That is so petty. I love it.
He got away with it. It's extremely petty. It's amazing. As soon as I heard that story, I'm like, that is the best thing ever. A little Easter egg: if you're playing against the Pistons, don't pick the Bulls.
If I'm ever playing that game at a party or something, I'll be like, hey, maybe you should play the Bulls.
Yeah, the last minute of the game, the Bulls will not make a shot. It's literally impossible for them to make a shot.
That's amazing. I love it when dumb Easter eggs like that make it into games.
Right?
If I made a game, I would definitely sneak something in like that.
Oh yeah. Just a little something like that.
That's normally what breaks the game, though. Somebody putting in an Easter egg, trying to be all sneaky, and then they end up breaking it.
I can think of a couple times at work when it's like, I'm just going to get this change in. It's small. Nobody will know.
Yeah, it's just a text change.
Why didn't this run? I forgot to put in the password.
I don't work in IT, so that's not my problem. All right, so for your question, Corey, now you see, I took this as an achievement standpoint. So, like,
because when I say given unlimited funds, you're like, what digital achievement can I unlock?
What digital
when you say
achievement
gaming
for me?
white whale, you say gaming white whale. So I'm like, oh, okay. So when unlimited funds, I'm thinking like the pay to win stuff. So like if Gears Pop was still active, I could just be like Chip and just keep throwing money in the game and complete it. So the first game that automatically comes to mind is Gems of War, obviously. So it's like, because that is just an horrific grind where that takes thousands of hours, and if I had unlimited funds, I could just sit there and keep putting money in and getting stuff. That for achievements wise, that's what I would go for. But I guess more to your question, but also to the way I took the question. If I had unlimited funds, I just want to buy basically the entire Rock Band and Guitar Hero libraries. Just go through and buy all the songs. Like I periodically play the game. It's been a while, but like I used to have a bunch of like Rock Band parties and have friends over and play, and I've got a couple hundred songs that I've purchased in my library. So it's like, but a couple hundred more if someone else is going to flip the bill.
I always have like a hankering just to whip out a plastic guitar and bring those games back, but I don't have one and I can't really find one. I totally would, but I had a ton of those songs. That's not bad. The whole Rock Band digital library, I'll take that.
All right, Markathon boys, it's been 17 days since Corey last said the word hankering. Stick it on the Discord. Start at 0.
At least it's a real word.
The word you're going to make fun of the word crack, but I can't make fun of the word hankering. Terrible.
Whatever you want to say, Corey, you and your chasm.
That's right.
Hey, hankering for a hunk of cheese.
But yeah, and then along with how I took it, I think Freem also took it the same way. Well, no, if he had his way, he would spend his money hiring someone to get the if they came to hear me beg achievement from Halo Reach, which is, if you've listened to Zed to Zed or you've been friends with him for any amount of time, you know that this is the one achievement that he will never be able to get. He has spent hours upon hours trying to get this.
This must be like
and he just
6, 7, 8, 9 ratio, right?
Oh yeah, at least.
Oh yeah. Oh, what? There's a 9, but it's 1.79.
I think I took this question maybe a completely different way, because like everybody was putting in answers like my own arcade machine, my own sweet house. Like Jay Black even said he would build his own arcade, even if he could fit it into his house, with pinball machines. And I was like looking at that stuff there, and I was like, oh, I think I read this completely differently, because in my head, my automatic answer was the same that it's always been when asked sort of these questions. I would just build the mansion from Resident Evil 1 up in a mountaintop somewhere and just disappear for life. Like, no one would ever see me again. I'd just be hanging out in this mansion, just cosplaying as Jill Valentine all day, and that's how I would spend the rest of my life.
You're cosplaying as Jill?
Oh, I'm cosplaying as Jill Valentine. That beret is hella cute. Are you serious?
That's funny because FuFu's going to be Chris.
Oh, perfect. Is this FuFu's blood?
Do I not get any recognition for knowing a Resident Evil character?
None of you get any recognition for not getting my "Is this Chris's blood" reference. So
that's true.
So
yeah, you got me
I
there.
know nothing about Resident Evil.
He's not wrong.
He just
I've never played a Resident Evil.
He's like, Jill. Wait, what?
Jill.
Well, yeah, that's what I do. I would build a 1-to-1
I'll give you
scale.
a mansion. You can have one, because there's one thing. You can have one empty mansion.
Oh,
maybe Fufu can, or maybe Chewie can bring his chair.
Yeah, it's just sitting in the middle of the lobby.
Yeah.
Now you said,
having a sweet mansion, that's awesome.
You said the Resident Evil 1 mansion and then disappear from life. And I'm like, well, if you build the Resident Evil mansion, you are going to disappear from life because zombies.
Yeah.
He's got a point.
Also, technically, it does get blown up at the end, so...
Oh, spoiler alert.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. It's a 25-year-old game. Pretty sure the statute of limitations is... Statute of limit? I think Chewie...
how many re-releases and a remaster?
We're not a word podcast, don't worry about
well,
it.
Chewie shouted at me the other day for getting the word statute wrong on statute of limitations. I can't even remember what it is now.
You did great.
I have absolutely no
Thanks.
idea.
Well, Ahizo agrees with Chewie, and he says, just a really sweet gaming room, tabletop video, all of it. My only physical collection is tabletop games. The room doesn't even need to be huge, just lots of shelves and an awesome corner for my consoles. I like that. I don't think anyone understands the term unlimited. I would buy Insomniac games, and I would make them make games for the Xbox.
You would buy
Naughty
Code
Dog,
Monkeys.
or Moon Studios, or I'd figure out who has the rights to Star Wars 1313, and I'd make it happen. Because that game was a banger. Is that the word?
Too.
Yeah, I'll accept that word. But I like the fact that that's what you went for, though. I like the fact that you were like, I'm buying a company.
Oh yeah.
Because then you can just make them do whatever you want at the end of the day.
Honestly, every 2 years, I get a new Ori game for me.
Yes, it's kind of like the unlimited wishes wish.
I don't want to work them too hard.
That is true, actually. That is true.
Nate broke the question. Good job, Nate.
Thank you. I'd maybe let you guys play too.
Oh, maybe?
Maybe? I mean, I don't want to. So
I don't want to play no stinking Ori games.
Ori game that has an achievement list, but then we delist it on like day 0, so only we have those achievements.
I'm surprised somebody hasn't done
Okay, Satan, calm down.
All right, so yeah, that was a fun question.
Yeah, even though most of us got confused by it.
We all took it our own separate ways. So yeah, that was neat.
Yeah.
It works.
Let us know what your answers are in the Discord.
Right answers only, please.
Yeah, Sega Game Studio apparently. All right, let's go into the other news article, and I'm gonna let Corey talk about this one since he knows the most about it. But there's been some drama around Art of Rally.
Yeah, I know some about it. I'm going to lean on NOTH because I think he's probably more knowledgeable. But Art of Rally, that new Zen, what we call the Zen-like racing game. I take that back. It is not very Zen in my book. It had a little thing happen to it this week that kind of rocked the achievement world. Well, on the PC version, because it is Play Anywhere, it has a mod folder. And if you're familiar with that scene, games I think like Mountain Blade and
Surviving
Mars had things like this. And what do you know? Somebody made something that allowed you to start the game and unlock every achievement instantly. Well, this gained some traction. Somebody made a video about it and made a thread on TA. Somebody found that video and did the action, got the completion, and within like 5 minutes, the thread was taken down. I didn't see what it originally was because it was so quickly removed. Well, that kept on spreading, and I don't really have to tell people who are listening to this because you are smart people. But other people that I saw around me started doing it too. And it's like, why are you doing that? Just wait until you get the okay, because you know it's sketchy and is all get out. Why risk it? But
why not?
I think there was like 20, 30 people that proceeded with this. And very quickly, the TA investigation team had to come in and investigate. Well, the ultimate ruling was that this was cheating that was not allowed. And since...
What?
I know, right? So since people already done it, it was being removed from their tags, kind of like the second profile glitch stuff, where you had instant pops or instant completions. And we had a clean leaderboard again, and it was kind of done. Today... I'll go back to what the actual cheat was in a minute. Today, they actually... So that happened on Monday. Today's Tuesday. They have already updated the cheating policy for TA. And the ones that I can see that are new, I don't check this regularly, so I'm not sure. But the last two bullet points are editing or manipulating game files to unlock achievements, alter achievement requirements, or unlock options disabled by developers. The second one is that's not allowed, is launching a game with a command line argument or using software to do it for you for the purpose of unlocking achievements, altering the requirements to unlock options disabled by developers. So the thing that doesn't seem to be conveyed or interpreted correctly by some individuals is that this is the exact same things that they were doing for things like Surviving Mars and whatnot. Well, it's not. First of all, this mod pack that you insert into a specific location that the game reads from, it has something to do, and this is where NOTH could come in. It has something to do with DLLs, and you should not mess with those.
Yeah, those other games, like the ones that you see on your Xbox like launcher on your PC or whatever that say, hey, mods enabled, etc. Those games are usually, for all intents and purposes, they're usually like RTS games and stuff like that there, but you're downloading a mod that's usually stuff like texture shaders or just whatever it is, and you're sticking them into their own folder, and that's it. However, people do make the achievement unlocked ones or like God mode ones that you can put in as well, but they're not doing anything bad. They're just using the in-game code that they already allow modders to use and work with, and that's fine. But as soon as you start putting code that it doesn't go in that mod folder and you start sticking it into what's called like injection files and DLL files are literally being rewritten by you or a code specifically that is doing that, that's not okay. That's you taking game code and altering it for your own, let's just say, nefarious gains. But as soon as I saw a lot of people jumping on that Art of Rally thing. As soon as people saw about the DLLs, they should have just clicked off. Because that's not how mods work. The DLL stuff is how trainers work. How the very prolific cheat engine website, is working. It's editing your in-game code rather than running like a little mod here and there. But yeah, like Corey, as you said the other day, as soon as people saw DLLs being mentioned, they should have just backed out of that video, backed out of that thread, and just waited to see what unfolded. And I think that's what most smart people did, but a lot of people got burned by just sort of taking the jump on that one.
Yeah, I don't get the rush to do it. Luckily, it was fairly small. I would say 30 people doing it is fairly small.
No, it was more than that.
Was it more than 30?
Yeah, within the end of that first night, me and Inigo in particular were refreshing the page. It had peaked 100 at one stage.
Oh wow.
And then every time we would refresh it after, they would go down to like 70, but then it would go up to 80 again. And people did. It would stay under 100 at that stage, but there were still like 30 or 40 people doing it each time. 30 or 40 people got taken away. I think enough people got burned by it.
I mean, TA definitely acted quick, which is good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they're starting to make more rules about this, but like I said, I don't have to tell the people listening because you guys are smart people. Why rush to do these things until you get the okay? Is how you should do it. And when it comes to doing it like they are, like NOTH said, things like Surviving Mars and whatever else, they can use, like, the developers make tools to allow you to do stuff. This particular mod came from a third-party website that somebody made. The guy who posted about it is actually non-stat tracking on TA, so he has a history. You should definitely just put some pieces together, be a little conscious about what you're doing. And so, yeah, anyways, that happened this past week. It rocked the achievement world, but yeah.
What that comes down to, though, is like your top 10 place on finishing a game with mods doesn't mean anything if you end up getting your account taken away by doing it. Like, just wait.
True.
It's not that hard to wait.
So, just for clarification, because I'm still a little confused on this, Art of Rally, the mod that was used, came from somewhere else that used essentially like a cheating software to unlock the achievements.
Which is exactly why it has to go into your DLL files. Yeah, if you're editing your basic files, your basic code, then that's a no-go.
Okay, that makes more sense. Because in my mind, I'm like, well, what's the difference between that and the Surviving Mars? Because I know, or at least at one point, the devs for Surviving Mars were trying to get rid of the mods that unlocked all the achievements.
Another layer
repopulated. Another
layer that might help is in Surviving Mars, if you remember doing it, you have to go in and enable the mods, right? And then do the things. This particular file, you could just place in a folder. You did not even have to enable mods, and the game gets confused because code is being injected that causes it to run not normal. And in this case, it was unlocking achievements. So it was actually modifying the game without taking mods into account.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. So to absolutely water it down, Surviving Mars, someone was unlocking achievements using the in-game modification system, whereas Art of Rally, they were unlocking achievements by using cheating software somewhere else, making it a mod in Art of Rally, then uploading.
Yeah,
it was just a file. It wasn't even an
injection. It's an injection that'll just add
a file.
Yeah.
It's okay. That makes more sense. Yeah. Okay, that's cheating.
Yeah, pretty cut and dry at that point.
Yeah, if you're not using the in-game mod tools to unlock all the achievements, then that's just straight cheating. So that makes sense. Oh, okay. Don't unlock them all at once.
Don't rush for that top 10 finish.
Cheat. If you want to cheat. I don't care.
I think I said it slowly in Discord, but like when we got that first thing with like Surviving Mars and then like around the same time there was Subnautica, which is a little different. Like that was like, you can get a quick 1,000 on a really hard game, but at this point it's becoming, it's not fun anymore, It's just it's happening too often, if you ask me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's so many 0 to 1 completions, so many console command games. Noth knows all about that.
Hey, come on, Kevney, those are shots fired. Come on. I'm here for a fun time.
It's too easy. I had to. All right, but yeah, that's our rowdy crap. Don't be a dirty cheater all at once.
It's actually not that bad of a game either. Maybe it's not Zen, even though it's like by the same guys that did Zen Drifting. But it's not bad. I mean, it's okay. I don't mind driving around and looking for letters and tapes and stuff like that.
Wait, what is this? Tony Hawk's Art of Raleigh?
I do see myself going back and doing it here and there. Yeah. If I'm being totally honest, I'll probably wait till it's leaving Game Pass and then rush to do half of the game. That's my specialty.
My daughter likes it, so I let her go and do the free roam, and she picks up a couple letters for me. And then I have to go back and drive every road anyway just to get everything. But it gives her something to do. So.
Oh, that would make me cry. Oh, my God.
But that day that she gets every road, it'll be a happy dad.
Yeah.
I was out at the store, and I went to look at my phone, and she just popped an achievement in Forza Horizon 3. What did she do? Oh, yeah. So before I left, I told her, oh, well, if you honk at people, they'll follow you. So she did that. So she just starts going, burr, 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 burr. Every time she goes near somebody, I'm out and about, and all of a sudden my phone buzzes, and I'm like, what the heck? I look at that, and it's like I've summoned enough people, or I've had enough people follow me now that I got an achievement, and I'm like, I didn't do anything. I was shopping. So yeah, it's great. Good times.
That was the days. That was nice when my nephews used to play on my Xbox.
Whoa.
And they would get that. I'd be at work and I get achievements.
You guys telling me that your accounts aren't 100% yours?
Come on.
Nope.
Wow.
My daughter's 8.
I'm sorry, guys.
My nephews were 14. I'm not. There's no shame here.
We're gonna need to purge all 3 of those accounts from TA ASAP.
You can clip this and send it to Rich. I don't give a crap.
I'm like, Rich.
How dare you.
Rich, these 3 admitted that other people play on their accounts.
Come on,
unban me on the forums. Unban me on the forums.
My cheater is too adorable to cut me. So
how can my cheater possibly be this adorable?
All right. Yeah. Let's move into the game showcase.
Go ahead. You played a good game.
yeah, why don't you start us off, Kenny?
Okay, we'll start off. I was say we got 3 games here, so I was wondering which one we should go for first. But yeah, we'll start with a game that I played, and surprisingly, one person who I thought would play this didn't. I've been playing a ton of Hades. The past, let's say Tuesday, like the past 2 or 3 days. This game is really freaking good. So obviously I knew Nate would jump right into this, and he has.
So what I'm hearing is Nate and Corey have good. We have good judgment on games.
That's what I heard.
Well, I mean, it's not that hard. When this was Game of the Year, like.
Yeah, but we wanted to play it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, whatever you're saying. But yeah, Hades, it's a roguelite, Greek mythology. I was actually talking to Noth about this before the show. I know I've played roguelikes, but I honestly can't remember which one it would have been. This really just isn't my genre of choice. And I kind of started playing this mostly just because I knew these 2 guys were playing it. We're going to play it. It's got a lot of hype. It was Game of the Year contestant, and I know it won a bunch of awards at the Game Awards. I just don't remember which one at this point. So I'm like, all right, well, I gotta try it, and I always had some interest in it since it looked cool. And the one thing about this game that it does so very well is the just one more addiction. While you're playing, it's just like, just do one more run. And then you get through, and it's just like, oh, you got one dungeon farther than you did the last time. And like the character will even say, this is the farthest I made it. It's just like, oh, is it? Well, let me see if I can go a little bit farther this time. Let me see if I can go a little bit farther. It's just like you just want to do one more. And when you want to go to bed at 12:30, you say just one more thing, and then the next thing you know, it's 2 a.m. and it's just like, I'm going to die tomorrow. This is bad. But yeah, the game is a lot of fun. Very, very addictive. I'll let Nate talk to it because he's played it triple than what I have. And considering what Nate and Corey have told me about the game, apparently I'm just bad at the game because it took me longer to get to certain places than it took them.
I wouldn't say you're bad. We probably just have a little bit more experience.
Yeah. And let me start off
Or
by
maybe
saying, just for future reference, if anyone ever asks you about this game and if the main character is a human or not, they are human-like. They are not a creature or anything. Just if you're playing a game based on questions and answers and yes and no, just so you know. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the game I played before.
This game is by...
I knew I played a game like this, Dead Cells.
Yes, there you go. So it's by...
I'm like, I knew there was one. I could not think of it. That's it.
It's by Supergiant.
Thank you.
Right? Yeah. Supergiant Games is the developer, and you would know that immediately if you've ever played a Supergiant game and you hear the music. As soon as you go into the very first area, it's like, boom, that's the Supergiant music, like no doubt.
Of course.
And then there's a narrator. Now, he doesn't have a Western accent, so you don't have that whole thing going there from the previous games. But there's enough similarities. There is definitely Supergiant DNA just splattered all over this thing. And this game is bloody. There's blood everywhere. You start walking out of a pool of blood.
Yeah, it is.
And every time you fail, you come back out of that same pool of blood. And you...
Oh, man, you get shish kebabbed when you die.
Yeah, the deaths are great. And you talk to Hypno, right? When you first get out, you talk to a guy named Hypno. And Hypno basically remembers how you died. And he knows if you died to that boss like multiple times, or if you died to like a spike on a wall, he knows that.
So
he comments on that.
Spikes on floor 3 times in my first 3 runs.
the game is really smart. I mean, it knows how you died. It knows that you've died there multiple times. I keep dying to the Minotaur, and the guy keeps reminding me that every time I come out. I'm like, shut up, dude. Like, I will get it eventually. Like, let me keep adding, onto these mirror abilities. So the game is great. And yes, you are going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to get farther every time. I'm currently on 24 runs, and every run you're just trying to get another bit of resource so that you can apply that to the mirror, and the mirror will allow you to up your skills a little bit, which will allow you to progress a little bit farther. Decisions that you make as you're going through the game, what door will I go through next? Well, unless you have a certain status effect on you, so that's like 1% of the time, you're always able to see what the next room holds. And sometimes there's multiple rooms, so you can pick, okay, well, do I want to go and talk to this god and get a boon from them, and also a counter saying that I've talked to that god one time, which will open up and unlock more things the more times you talk to these gods. So there's a bajillion counters going on in this game. How many times have you talked to Dionysus? How many times have you talked to Hermes? How many times have you talked to Zeus? How many of the boons have you taken from Zeus? Have you taken one of each? There's a checklist for everything in this game.
Also, Nate,
yes.
sorry, to butt in. The other counter I noticed when I was playing this, I only played it for maybe an hour or two.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but in the weapon room, did you notice that like your weapons get upgraded the more times you kill enemies with them?
Yes. I've
just been using that bow and arrow the entire time. I've just like, I think it's 600 kills to get to level 2 or something, and I'm like, yeah, I want to get this.
Yeah, and I don't think it's actually upgrading your weapon. It's just increasing the lore. There's lore all the way everywhere.
Oh, I thought there was
a lot of lore.
I thought there was a percentage for like a certain like a certain passive ability to be activated on it, or maybe I'm reading that wrong.
Well, it could be. I need to pay a little more attention to the weapons. Now, once you beat certain bosses, the very first time you beat them, I think you get a blood, and then you can apply that blood to a weapon, and you can increase its stats. So maybe that's changing. But I thought for the most part, it was lore was unlocked the more kills you have, and once you get to a certain point, that stops, and you've got all the lore for a weapon. You get lore for enemies, just like you do in Dead God. Gosh, what is Dead Gods? Curse of the Dead Gods. Thank you. So a lot like that. Like you're getting progression towards lore by the number of enemies you kill and the number of time you kill that same specific enemy. So and Kenny just nailed it. Like, this game is king of just one more. It's like just one more pomegranate. Okay, well, just one more room. Okay, well, no, just one more run. No, okay, so just 10 more kills. And it's just like it's just one more itis. Like, everywhere
I just
you go.
need 10 more darkness, and then I can get that upgrade.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, well, I just finished my run. Let me go talk to everybody because. Number one, as soon as you finish your run, talk to everybody that has an exclamation point.
Always.
Because it increases your counter for everybody. I
think there's an achievement tied to every single one of them as well, isn't there?
There's an achievement.
Everything.
Yeah, there's an achievement for all kinds of these stat things.
I know it's a lot of the boons stuff in particular, but I think that comes with up in your lore with that person who gave you the boon.
Yeah, so for everybody you talk to, you can give them an elixir.
Nectar.
A nectar. You can give them a nectar, and the very first nectar you give to them, they will give you an ability. And that ability you can level up.
Keepsake.
A keepsake, thank you. And the keepsake you can upgrade. Well, if you use it during a run, after you do 20 rooms with carrying that keepsake, it will upgrade to level 2. And then let's say you have to do 100 more rooms to get that to go to level 3. And then once you get to level 3, you're done. There's an achievement for doing level 3, I think, for all of the base.
God,
those things, keepsakes.
Yeah.
So, and then yes, you can upgrade the weapons as well. And once you've had enough conversations with all the different gods, you will unlock the 4th tier of thing that you can unlock on a weapon. And then you have to beat the game with one of those 4th tier weapons completely unlocked. That's an achievement. So yeah, this game, it starts out taking a while before you get an achievement, unless you are intentionally doing one of the things that you can do from the very beginning to unlock your first achievement.
There's 2 very easy.
Like patting the doggo?
Yeah, you can pet the doggo. He's a good boy.
You can pet the dog.
Pet the dog. He's a good boy. He's the best boy, and you can get an achievement for that. You can also pet the skeleton, 20 times or whatever, 15 times, and get an achievement by killing him as well. But yeah, this game is just so good. I'm currently on my way to the 3rd boss, and I've been doing that a whole bunch. And I'm just constantly going through trying to make each run optimized. Like, okay, I'm going to try to get as many of the elixirs as I can, so I can upgrade all those things. Now, I have no idea which god to give all of my nectars to first.
Next.
Because you have to just keep giving them a whole bunch, and then once you give them like 10, I don't know the number because it just has a ...
Yeah.
Telling you
that's
just
so
give them
annoying.
more. And eventually that will like max out that relationship. And when you do that for all of the people, you'll get like, I think a companion that will help you in your battles as well.
Really?
So yeah, so there's just like constantly little
that's good to
upgrades
know.
and little ways to just constantly improve your performance and your damage output and everything. And it's just so good, man. This game is just so good at layering more stuff, and the way that they educate you. You go into a room with your brand new weapon. There's one enemy. Like, there's one enemy. Okay, learn how to use this weapon. The very first time you run into a new enemy, there's one enemy. Like, there's you're not facing 10 of this enemy type. You're facing one of this enemy type, so you can understand their moveset. Once you beat them, then like 2 spawn in, and you beat them, and then you start mixing in with other things. This game is just a masterclass in game dev and like educating the player. I can't speak highly enough of it. I'm shutting up. Play it. It's so good.
Yeah.
Well, Kenny, what I was
like-
going to ask you is, like, you said you don't play roguelites. You said this is maybe your 2nd roguelite. Is the fact that the game was such a big hit last year and won so many Game of the Year awards, is that what made you say, hey, I want to play this? Or, like me, was it just completely the art style? Because I was just sold on that art style.
So the art style, it doesn't immediately grab me.
Ooh.
I'm very much, I like 3D graphics. I like more realistic type stuff. The art style is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Like, I like it, but like when I see a game that looks like this, I don't immediately go, I want to play it very much like the 3 of you. I know you guys, when you see that art style, it's just like, yeah, I'm going to buy it. And it doesn't matter what the game is. Yeah, because it had so much hype behind it last year, and it was Switch? Yeah, it was a Switch exclusive, and now
It was on PC
it's
too.
It was PC first, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I thought I was wrong on that. But yeah, it was PC and Switch, and now it's coming to Xbox. And not only is it finally coming to Xbox, so it's in Game Pass.
Yeah.
And it was such this big hit. It's just like, I'm going to download it just to try it out, see how it is. If nothing else, I'm going to try to, help with the Game Pass numbers to try to get bigger games like this.
Yeah, but like you said, it's got that whole one more, just perfectly
And also,
done.
I love Greek mythology.
Oh, yeah.
I love Greek mythology, so it's just like...
Oh, yeah, Koosh didn't even
the
mention
game
that. I bet
soaked
he's
in that.
drooling.
I'm in.
Well, I mean, I just figured, with my Immortals Phoenix Rising, like, you'd know that, like, I'm a huge fan of Greek mythology. So yeah, I'm just loving it.
I've never seen somebody vouch as much for a game in my life as you for Immortals Phoenix Rising. And you're the only reason I bought the edition with all the DLC and stuff in it. And I have not got around to playing it yet, but I will.
Neither have I.
My man.
But if I hate it, I'm leaving the Discord.
There you go. Well, let me tell you what, that first DLC is not fantastic. It's really frustrating. I haven't tried the other DLCs. So, but the base game is worth the price of the whole thing. So there's so much content in there.
I am excited to just take a whole weekend and just chunk out at it. Like
you're going to it's such a good weekend. Like that's going to be like one of the best weekends of your life. But yeah, Hades, just so good. I'm glad it's not a stack because there's not enough time in the world to play it twice.
So one thing that I just looked up because I was thinking about this. You mentioned earlier on how like you talk to everybody, and like every single time you die, they say, "Oh, you died like this," and certain people may mock you or something like that. Every single time you encounter any of the Greek gods, and like they're all in the game, it's a different dialogue. Like you don't hear there's no dialogue that repeats or anything like that. I just looked this up to see how much dialogue is in the game. The game contains more than 300,000 words, which is more than there are more words in Hades than the Two Towers and Return of the King combined, with enough room for the best bits of The Hobbit. It also contains more words than the Iliad and the Odyssey combined.
What? And those are two epics?
That's crazy.
Yes, it has more words than that, and this game has 21,000 voice lines recorded.
Wow.
And in the 2 hours I played...
21,000 voice. That's not text. It's one thing for that to be text.
Yeah.
But for someone to write it, and then it was spoken and recorded, that's a feat in and of itself. That is so much dialogue.
And I learned that there's a god of wine.
Oh my
Who knew?
And also
everything.
and White Claw.
God of White Claw.
Yeah.
It's called NOTH.
Dionysus, the god of White Claws. Yeah.
You've piqued my interest. Now keep it, Koosh.
Yes, this game, if you haven't yet, just download it and just play for an hour. That's all I'm asking. Just play for an hour, and if somehow it hasn't caught your attention by then, I don't think it's going to catch your attention. But honestly, I think it will catch. It's just
it's a great intro to roguelites.
It's so good.
Just it teaches you so well, and it just it does a great job of just constantly unfolding itself and letting you see the ways that the systems work and build upon one another. So yeah,
like this is one of those games. Like I know we all have those games on our Xbox where we're just never going to uninstall them. We just every so often we'll just go back and just play a little bit more of the game. This is a game for me. Even when I'm like, okay, I'm going to move on to something else, it's going to stay on my Xbox, and it's just like, I got 20 minutes to play a game. I'll just do a run in Hades real quick. Because there's always going to be something.
Yeah, to pick up and play a game, like, it's easy to sink like 20 minutes in and a break or something. Like, I get that.
And it's not like the control schemes are really intensive or anything like that. So, like, some games you'll forget if you come back to them 6 months later. This, you'll be like, what do I have to do? But you'll pick it up real quick. It's not that difficult.
I, too, played Hades. So, that's my game.
Yeah, there you go.
Just kidding.
I was going to say, that is not your game. Where do we want to go? You know what? I want to yaw Corey, so we're going to go with Corey.
Yeah.
See, I could have run off me there because my game was also a roguelite, and then we could have ended with Corey just throwing a complete wrench in the works, but if you want Corey to go, that's okay.
That's what I'm trying to. Did you want to say something about Hades, Corey?
I played it too.
I also played it.
God of Wine.
Okay, I thought you
remember?
were going to add something else.
No.
I'm gonna yell at Corey. So I cannot believe this. So like, I know Corey has been dying to play Hades. I thought for sure this was gonna be like one of those games where we're gonna get into it. All four of us are gonna be talking about this game. We're all gonna be hyped for it. We're gonna spend a half hour talking about and praising Hades. But no, instead of Corey playing Hades all weekend, he has put 40 hours into what game?
Upset of the year here. I've spent probably more time than Koosh has in Hades. I've spent in lawn mowing simulator. So
I cannot believe how much time you have put
40 hours. 40 hours he has put into that game in 10 days.
TA says 36. I don't believe it. It's probably like 30.
That's twice my time in Hades. I can't believe this. Tell me why.
Okay, bear with me here.
I'll be honest. I wanted to play this game. I cannot believe you were playing this much Lawn Mowing Simulator over Hades.
Let me break it down.
I have to hear this.
Let me break it down. First, this game is Xbox Series only, so you can't play it, Kenny. I'm sorry.
Damn it. Okay.
It's not on Game Pass. It's quite expensive. Well, for what it is.
Which is also more interesting that you have put this much time into it, because you bought it.
It's twofold. I got the game for free. I'm reviewing it for Xbox Tavern, so there's that part. So I feel like I should put some time into it. This is more time than I normally put into review games. It all depends on the game, of course, but
a factor of 10.
I think this is the most time I've ever put in a simulator game that does not involve a goat. And I think that you just have to put in a lot of time to kind of get the gist of the game. And so with Lawn Mowing Simulator, okay, again, bear with me here, because it's not for everybody.
I'm listening. Trust me, I'm listening.
You are in charge of, you own a lawn mowing company, and you have to go and take on contracts every day. You take one per person, and you go and mow some lawns.
I can't believe I'm listening to you talk about this.
I can't either. Because Hades just came out this weekend.
There's so many games out this week, and this man is cutting grass.
But listen.
Continue.
Virtual grass. So you're in the British countryside, and you have some gorgeous landscapes, 31 of them to be exact. And you take on these contracts, and you go and mow the grass. And there's a wide range of real-life mowers and attachments for them, and you have to monitor your speed and your cutting height. And you don't want to run over any flowers or get into any collisions, because that
God forbid
fines.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
But you take on these jobs and you do them, and you get paid, and you can then hire employees and upgrade your headquarters so you can store more lawnmowers and perform more jobs.
Corey, listen to you talk about this. You're talking about this with a grin on your face.
I know.
You know this is wrong.
Hold on, I need a White Claw. All right,
hey,
so
are you cracking White Claws open when you're on your little lawnmower?
You know what? It's a perfect summer drink to cut the grass with. So not only do you earn money, you have employees, you also have reputation. That reputation allows you, I guess, to get paid more because you're a better company, and you keep upgrading those. And that's the kind of like the thing that pulled me in. It's like, oh, I want to get the most expensive lawnmower because it has the only attachment that allows you to kind of go full speed and not worry about overclocking your engine.
Oh my God, what are you talking about?
What was that sentence?
You don't want to overclock your lawnmower engine?
Okay, overclock's not the right word, but you know what I'm saying. If you're cutting grass that's too tall, you're going to overload your engines. You have to go slower or make multiple passes. And this lawnmower is the big daddy is bigger, it's faster, and if you buy the flail attachment, you won't overload your engine.
The flail?
Is it called the Big Daddy?
No, I think it's a Toro. I think it's a Toro brand.
It's a missed opportunity.
and so yeah, I just got that mower yesterday. I've upgraded my headquarters twice. I'm maxed out in employees, And
nice.
I got it. I need to buy the attachment because I need to see how it works. Because every time you get a damn orchard, that grass is always overgrown.
Oh, I hate that.
Me too, because it takes forever.
And you have to come back every week, do it again.
You do.
Yeah.
You could go back to the same place the next day, and it will be grown again. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Come on. So yeah. Let me think about what to tell you about the game. Most of the contracts are just cutting the grass, and you have to cut 99.5% of the grass in most cases, and obviously you want to do that without penalties and fines. But before you cut the grass, you can perform a ground check. That's where you run around the grounds and pick up any loose things on the grounds, like sticks or a garden gnome.
I was going to ask if you have to do that. I can't believe you do.
I didn't know it went this in detail. I
It's a
didn't know it
simulator,
went
Nate.
in this detail.
This is for
What
realism.
about dog dirt? You have to pick up dog dirt?
No dog dirt, but
Okay.
there are special valuables that if you find and turn them in, you get big money for them.
There's
And
collectibles?
there's collectibles.
Oh my god.
Like watches and things?
Watches, headphones,
Like-
laptop, car keys. You
Zoos?
turn those in, you get good money. And so a normal job is you do your ground check and you mow the grass, and then you're done. So sometimes you don't want to get clippings places. You got to go pick up the clippings. If you care about that, I never do. There's a couple other contracts you can pick up as well as you get further into the game. There are litter contracts. Those are some of my favorites because as I send my people out to do the very long contracts, because you get a recommended time, right? And I don't want to spend an hour cutting a lawn, even though I have. I send them out because they get the most money, and it doesn't matter what crappy lawnmower you give them. They just do the job. As soon as you're done with yours, that's the end of the day. So the litter ones, you just have to go and pick up like 12, 15 pieces of litter in the park, and you can get that done in like 2 minutes. And so there's a good way to get a lot of money quick. The other type of contract is a striping contract. So not only do you cut, you have to have a special mower with a special attachment to stripe the grass. And so that's when you're getting fancy, and you're going to get lots of reputation, lots of money for those, and you'll be on your way.
Will you get a lot?
And so
Oh,
that's
bloody
the
hell!
gist
Did you
of the
see
game.
Rocker do? He struck that grass real good, so he did.
Oh, that was a good accent.
You said it was in Britain. You said it was in Britain.
It is. It's the British countryside. There's euros involved. They use the U in the word color. So, anyways, I've been
that's
playing
how you
a ton
know.
of this game. That's kind of the career mode, and to do the all the achievements, you have to drive 100 miles in career mode. I'm at 50. I'm at 49. Right. You got to complete 100 contracts. I've done 50 of them. One of my favorite achievements is I haven't made it there yet because it started in March and I'm in May or June. I need to ride an American-made mower on the 4th of July. It's really good.
It's amazing.
The other one that's my favorite is completing a park contract, which is if you just do a park. Normally those are bigger. It's called Mighty Mowing Park Ranger.
Of course. Of
So
course.
they did a
I
good
was
job
ju-
with that.
I was just about to say there's a couple of good achievement names like that. Worked your grass off.
Yeah, besides
Law enforcement officer.
yeah,
Law
Law
enforcement.
enforcement officer.
besides the career mode, there's free mode. You can only use mowers that you've unlocked the career mode, and there's challenges. I haven't done any of the challenges yet. One, I thought it glitched on me, but I think I just didn't do a good enough job. It was really early on, but it's like mow with like limited amount of fuel. There's some timed ones. You
That's
have
what
to
I was gonna
manage your
say.
speed, Kenny. You have to manage your speed on some of these mowers because, like I said, if you overload your engine, it's going to blow up on you. You can cause damage to it and the blades. After every mow, after every day, you need to, on all your mowers, refill the fuel tanks, empty the collectors, maybe change the blades, repair the engine. Some serious stuff, okay?
I can't
Don't-
believe how in depth that game goes.
It's not a laughing matter.
Oh, I can.
So the game
Simulator games get it very in depth.
the game is fun. I think I am starting to hit the plateau of like now I'm just doing the same thing over and
40
over.
hours.
Now it's starting
Yeah,
to feel
40
like a
hours.
job.
A little bit. And there's some nuances now that I've put some time into it that I wish they would fix, and hopefully they do. One, you can only hire 2 employees. I think that's too low. You need at least 3 because you're offered 5 contracts. And why can I own 20 mowers but only have 2 employees. Doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Why are there 6 pedals if there's only 4 directions?
There are no weed eaters. So, like, those grass clippings next to the flower bed, those are the hard ones to get. And I guess a weed eater would help you get that, but it's not in the game. And
that's because this is
when you're mowing and you like a tree branch, that goes into your field of vision, it completely like takes away what you can see. So I think those should, there's some little things that they can do, and I think that they will. And one thing is I've transcended even in my lawn mowing games. First person, baby, that's the way to go. First person, you can look right down at where your wheel is, line it up. You got a good cut, straight cut there.
I never thought I would hear Corey say the word "I have transcended" in my lawnmower game.
I mean, you think you guys have it good with Hades? No. Lawn mowing simulator.
I mean, if that's what you need to tell yourself to complete this game, you go for it.
Like I said, I had interest in this game. I like simulator games. I like simulation games. I like simulation games. I just never, in a million years, thought that Corey, Rocker Dude 5012, on the same weekend that Hades comes out, he is putting 40 hours into a lawn mowing game.
Although I can probably guess why this is, and I'm gonna say that he has decided to take a break from games like that because he did both stacks of Death's Door recently. And he probably just wanted a break from something like that.
People say Death's Door is like Dark Souls-ish. It's not really.
My favorite thing that's come out.
I'm just a god gamer, okay?
That is true. You are the god gamer of this Discord. Let's be honest here. But I think my favorite thing that has happened since you've started playing this lawnmower game is that screenshot you put in the other day of you stuck in a ditch.
So that happened yesterday. That's with my big fancy new mower. It's really tall. I got
Did you not
caught on the sign, and my back wheels were on the ground, but my front wheels were up, and I could not move. I had to get off the thing, had to recover the lawnmower. It was a pain, but yeah, that can happen.
Amazing.
Oh, it became a whole thing.
Yeah, it has. So yeah, that's what I've been playing, and it might be my first simulation game. And I was thinking about it, I need to get into the good sims. Nobody cares about truck driving, but lawn mowing is where it's at, and it only makes me more hype and more hopeful that we get power washing simulator, because I think I'd be into that.
But then we also have we've got the car mechanic simulator. We have the PC builders.
That's not that good.
That sounds not good to me.
House flipper.
House flipper, PC building simulator.
PC building simulator is pretty.
I played PC building simulator. You have to change tiny screws.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
But you're walking around doing what, ground walks of lawns before you mow them,
man.
In real life, you spent more hours in this virtual grass cutting simulation.
PCs need to be built.
Yeah, PCs need to be built, dude. Cars need fixed, and what was that other one that released on Steam a while back? Drug dealer simulator?
I saw one for you today. It's called Bum Simulator.
Wow. Just getting called out straight away like that.
It's a real game, though.
So, legitimate question, Corey. What was the last game that you put 40 hours into?
Death's Door did not take me that long, even though it says it did. Going down my list, are you talking about completions?
I'm just wondering, what was the last game that has hooked you?
Yeah, hooked you enough. Not completions.
Me? Just the classics like Dodgeball Academia and Blood Roots.
Blood Roots took you 40 hours?
It definitely didn't take you 40.
It was a joke.
This is what I'm saying. I can't remember the last game that Corey has played for more than 10 hours tops.
Yeah,
I got 11 in Yakuza.
Wow. See, when you say stuff like that, Corey, it makes me annoyed.
Yeah?
Because I just look at your account and it's just a bunch of games that I'm like, oh, I wonder if you enjoyed that game. 10 gamer score in it. 11 minutes played.
He just dived 8 games today.
I enjoyed that 10, and I will go back to it.
You will not.
At some point.
Are you going to finish Blair Witch before the 31st?
Maybe.
See what I mean? There's the first game I
That
give
one's
you as
not fun. That one's not fun. I'm all about the fun now, which is
You're all
why I
about the-
started Jump King and Baobab's
You're
Mausoleum.
playing Lawnmower Simulator. What are you talking about fun?
And it was fun. It's a fun 36 hours.
You just admitted to getting your lawnmower stuck, so...
Okay, that was yesterday. It was the very last thing I did because I wanted to try out my new mower.
Well, I have, like Koosh and Kevney, have been playing another isometric roguelite, which is probably the reason that I haven't put as many hours into Hades. Like I was saying to Kenny before we started, Koosh, Curse of the Dead Gods has taken 60 hours of my life this week. And I would like to say that that's like maybe like a week and a half or whatever. It's not. It's 4 days.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it hooked me in a way that a roguelite hasn't done before, and is again the only reason that I haven't played Hades as much. But
I know one other reason.
Yeah, oh yeah. But I've never played a roguelite that has had this many intricacies in it before. Like when people talk about roguelites or whatever, they usually say like, yeah, you play the roguelite for a while and then you get to a point maybe 10 hours in where you upgrade your passive skills, you upgrade maybe some of your weapons, you know, and then you can do like a further run, blah 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 blah. But with Curse of the Dead Gods, it has that in it, but then it literally also starts with here's the curse aspect of the game. And the curse aspect of the game is sort of what got me hooked into it. So the whole selling point of it is, again, like Hades, you have to do a run, you know, an escape run or whatever. 21 rooms or 12 rooms, whatever difficulty the level is. But every time you leave a room, you get 20, I think it's points of curse onto you. And then once you get 100, you get a full curse. And a curse can be like a randomized pool of curses. So some of them are enemies are now invisible from now on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it gets really intense really quickly, and if you get unlucky in like your first curse pool, then you may as well just restart. Super interesting mechanic, but it also has another mechanic on top of that, which is light. So whenever you enter a room to fight, because you start with a torch, right? And then you have a secondary and a primary weapon, and then a two-handed weapon. The torch, whenever you walk into a room, you have to try and look for the light. What's the word for it? The light,
like it's not a candle, but
like a torch
empire
thing or whatever. Blah blah blah. You know, and you light that, and now that you've lit that, you do 20% more damage in the light. Then you get this whole thing where enemies can maybe, if you have a curse on you, enemies can turn the lights off, and now you take 20% more damage in the darkness. But then you can collect relics that'll help you do stuff like maybe cancel some of those curses out. So now you do 20% more damage in the dark, and now every time you kill an enemy, you actually get one like curse point less. Stuff like that. The game is insane with the amount of I don't even know what the word is, but like you know, the amount of different things that's going on that like can work with each other. And it's got to the point now where it's like all the little intricacies of this game are just working together to a point where I am enjoying it so much, because sometimes I'll do a run and it'll be perfect the entire way through, where I'll get a weapon and it'll be like in the darkness you do 100% more damage with your secondary if your primary weapon is a sword. Like it gets to that point of it gets to that point of like micromanagement. You may pick up a relic that'll say, oh, you do 45% fire damage, but only in the darkness now. You know, it gets to that point, and then the achievements are it's basically just complete the game, for all intents and purposes, or complete every level. But I am now, and unlock everything, but I'm now at the point, as Koosh mentioned earlier on with Hades, unlocking the bestiary for everything is my last achievement in the game, and that means you have to kill the elite enemies without taking a hit of like a 1 point of damage from them. Some of those
That
enemies...
sounds obnoxious.
It is, and this is the thing. I thought it was going to be very, very obnoxious when I started it because there was so many systems going on. And I was like, this seems like one of those games that's being a roguelite just so that they can say they're a roguelite. You know, like, just for the sake of doing it. But as you actually delve into it and you can choose... Like, I didn't even say, like, whenever you're at your home base, you can upgrade altars and boons and stuff that also help you and give you extra things while you're... There is like 10 different systems going on in this game, but once you get used to them, they are fun to like sort of help you with your run, and you can sort of plan your run out. And Koosh, I don't know, have you played much of it?
I've done a little bit. I've unlocked a couple altars so that I can have a couple sets of weapons that I can choose from at the beginning of each run.
I didn't even mention that. Like, there's so much going on with this game.
Yeah.
Would you say, Koosh, that as much as you've played of Hades,
mm-hmm.
and as much as you played of Curse of the... Would you say that one is more hectic than the other at the points you were in?
One is more hectic. I would say that Curse of the Dead Gods is harder than Hades.
Okay, that's what I would say.
Yeah, it's more cruel.
I would say Curse of the Dead Gods is more cruel and harder, but Hades is more hectic.
Okay, I guess that's fair.
There's sometimes on Hades, at least a little bit I played, where there was sometimes maybe 15 of those skulls, you know, charging me on screen at the same time, and I would have to like try to dodge around them as quick as possible. There was never 15 enemies on screen at once in Curse of the Dead Gods.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
The thing about Curse of the Dead Gods that I don't think you can do in Hades is if you can learn to parry, you're invincible in Curse of the Dead Gods. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot coming at you at times.
And thankfully, every enemy has a flash indicator. Yeah. But I have been caught out by that flash indicator multiple times because some enemies have wind-ups. Yeah. And that's what has caught me out. Especially, so as Koosh was saying earlier about finishing the bestiaries, the hardest ones are you have to kill all of the bosses 10 times without getting hit once. And there is 12 bosses, which means you have to do, at the minimum, 120 runs, but that's not possible. The minimum you actually have to do is about 600 runs to be able to get everything. I'm now on like run 300 and something. However, the boss's parry indicators are insane. Particularly, there is a boss that turns into 2 different ladies and has 2 different attack patterns. When she flash indicates for a parry, she can auto switch into the second part of the boss and then not have the flash indicator on and go through you and auto hit you. And it is spending 25 minutes for a run to get to her to try and finish her without getting hit, and then that happening has happened to me maybe 6 or 7 times now. It is a heartbreaking game for what it is. And I've put 60 something hours into it already. That's my last achievement, but that last achievement is probably going to take me another 60 to 70 hours, unfortunately. And then I can play Hades, and then I can play Lawnmower Simulator.
You can play Curse of the Dead Gods.
And then you can play Curse of the Dead Gods on PC. Yeah.
No,
I am playing it on PC. I'm going to have to go to console. I don't want to have to do that.
Yeah, you have to switch to the stack, yeah.
I don't want to have to do that stack.
I'm sorry, you have to.
Is it the law? Is it law now?
It's the law. It's the laws.
Them's the rules.
But yeah, I mean for another...
there ain't no laws.
There ain't no laws with the claws, baby. Let's crack them if you got them. But yeah, I have to say, for an isometric, yet another roguelite, which I think we're getting a little bit too saturated with now at this stage. I'm glad that it has differences in it enough to make me go, hey, this roguelite isn't that bad, you know?
Yeah, I've always kind of, like, roguelites have intrigued me. I didn't really like it when we started the podcast, like, you know, having to die a lot, but they have grown on me. I kind of feel like they're, like, it's its own little world, kind of like Metroidvanias. So I do plan on putting more time into them. Maybe next year. Maybe that's like 2022's focus for me is more roguelites. But yeah, it's a good genre.
And you do that and I'll bean dive next year.
Deal.
Yeah. I'm enjoying Hades enough that it's just like, okay, well, when I'm done this, maybe I will check out more. Like, I have Curse of the Dead Gods installed.
See, that's what I am surprised. I'm surprised about, though. I'm surprised that you went head first into Hades as your first roguelite. Like, I know you said you played another one, but you can't really remember. But
I looked it up. He didn't really play.
Was it
anything.
Bard's
He played
Gold?
some. He played some Dead Cells, like Rush Rover popped up, Dead Age. I don't really recall those being roguelites, but
I forgot about Dead Age, yeah.
oh, Dead Cells. Dead Cells is definitely a roguelite.
Dead Cells.
Dead Cells,
yeah.
yes. I forgot Dead Age. I only played that a little bit.
I don't even know what that is. I don't think I've heard of that.
Forever ago. It's like...
Not good.
It's a roguelite, but also it's in a zombie apocalypse. It's management and...
Oh, you lost me. As soon as you said zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse, I was on board, and then you said management, and I was off board. Even Koosh, I saw him
Yeah,
just
it's like
noticeably shake this.
out.
And there's like some sort of like... I think you can like get cards that help with...
No,
things.
no.
It's role playing turn based roguelite.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, it's something.
What is that? The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse that you see on Steam? Management, survival, early access, crafting. That was the fourth one. Crafting.
Ugh. Yeah,
Hate
all
crafting.
ugh, yeah.
All right, I guess I'll be the odd one out. I like crafting. All right, yes, that's the games that we wanted to highlight this year.
This
week. That's the ones we're highlighting this week. Although honestly, that'll probably be the ones that we're going to highlight this year. I'm sure there's going to
Yeah.
be Lawnmower and Hades is probably going to come back on the end of the year list. Let's get into some sales, some recommendations. I didn't really see anything. The one I'm going to point out is more of just a PSA. Forza Motorsport 7 is on discount. It's on sale right now. There's 3 different bundles for it. There's a $10, a $14, and a $20 ones. I don't know the difference. I guess you just get more cars or whatever. The only reason why I'm saying this is because it'll be delisted soon. Darn, I had the date. I forgot.
Isn't Forza Motorsport 7 the most recent one, though?
Yeah.
It's the most recent motorsport.
Why is that getting
I think
delisted?
I think it's because it's licensed. I think it has licensed music, and it also has licensed cars in it. So
September 15th.
September 15th.
Wow.
Right.
Would that be possible to
thinking
finish
9th.
by then?
No, but you can buy it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
you
getting
buy it before
delisted,
that.
so like you can still buy it.
Oh,
and
yeah. I
play
don't know.
it.
I don't know why my brain said if it gets delisted, you'll never be able to play it again. That was automatically where my brain went.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. If you have any interest in it, now's probably a good time to pick it up. Because after this, you're gonna have to find it physically, and I have absolutely no idea if the disc will go up in value or not.
Oh,
so.
yeah, it definitely will.
Well,
If
you
you have
won't
at
be
least
able to
a
have the
little bit of interest in
DLC
this,
for sure.
Might be able to get
Yeah.
and that's the other thing. You're gonna want the DLC. If you want the DLC, buy it now. And $20 for it doesn't seem awful.
See, that's why
'Cause
I have to say I like this Discord. You see, when people figure out that something's getting delisted, I'll always hop on it straight away. Even if it's a game I'll never maybe have an intention of playing, like specifically anytime soon, it's always nice to have the fallback.
Yeah,
You
the
know.
FOMO is
And
real.
the other nice thing about all the Forza games is you can download the Forza Hub app on your Xbox, and like when you earn achievements or do story things in one game, you get points in the hub, which then could be
Like Ubisoft
cashed out
Club.
into other games to get other stuff. I forget exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's a little like that. Yeah.
I have
I
to
know.
say I really like that Ubisoft Club.
Yeah, I love getting wallpaper.
Well, no, did you play like Far Cry 4? Where you could buy like an insane one-shot, one-kill Desert Eagle?
That
You know,
is
it's-
true. That is true. They do let you buy weapons and cool
Mhm.
outfits and stuff like that.
I think that's the way that you should be doing that rewards tier stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a big developer with a ton of games, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, make you play all of them. All right, but yeah, that's the one game I want to talk about. Noth, what you got?
Oh, I got one in particular I want to just like fully say to people to get, and then 2 that I'm gonna say you should pick up anyway. But Doom Eternal, at least the Windows 10 stack, is down with both DLCs, and it's down to like less than 13 quid at the minute. I'm not sure what that is in American fake money.
I was just
Freedom
about to say,
dollars.
what the heck is
yeah.
a quid?
It basically equates to $0 because it's on Game
Yeah.
Pass.
Well, no, but the DLC isn't anyway. But this is a buy and keep. So, but I mean, if you ever want to play a game that just makes you feel like the best first-person shooter ever, in the most basic sense of the terms, Doom Eternal is exactly where you go for that.
Action horror, pass.
Action horror. Oh, dude, I'm so hurt when you say things like that. But
I know.
Also, the Ancient Gods Part 2 has quite possibly the best ending for any DLC I've ever seen in a game. But I won't ruin it. I won't have a spoiler or anything like that.
Good man.
Yeah, it is worth it. I would also say Dishonored 2 is on sale at the minute for like £6. I would say play that game specifically for a level called the Clockwork Mansion, because it's the most, I don't know, just ingenious, crazy mission I've ever played in a video game. And
I've heard other people talk about that mansion.
Yeah, that Clockwork Mansion is quite possibly one of the greatest things I've ever done in a video game. It's beautiful to play around with, and it's wonderful to play. And then lastly on my sales, boys, is we got one for Inigo Montoya. Avatar: The Last Airbender is on sale today. So I think it's down to like less than a $5, so like $7 for you guys.
Weeb.
You played the whole game,
Avatar
didn't
is
you?
not anime.
How many
Sorry.
people do you think made it past the training area in that Avatar game on the 360?
I bet you did.
7.
I didn't.
I didn't think there was anything after there.
Yeah, I thought that's where the game
I did.
ended.
Yeah.
I did, and that's one of my all-time favorite shows.
Wait, you said it's one of your all-time favorite shows. You're going to argue that it's not an anime?
It's not an anime.
It's an anime.
It's made in Japan.
Only a weeb would argue about that, Kevney.
Did you? That's the second time you said Keb.
That is
more
the
than 2
7th
times.
time I've called you Kevney.
I've heard it twice.
Oh, I hear it every time. It's glorious.
It was because I got
But either way,
I got angry at you the other night, and I was on my phone, and I typed in Kenny in all capitals, and I hit Kebney instead, and I was like, that's just his name from now on.
works for me.
Kebney.
But yes, no, it is not an anime. It wasn't made in Japan.
Well, something that's definitely not made in Japan is Snaky Bus. That is $4.79, down from $12. It is it's like a snake-like game, but you are a vehicle, and it's pretty fun, and it's not too bad for completion. I've done it. Thank you very much, NOTH. I'm also going to recommend Superliminal. It is $12, down from $20. It's the lowest it's ever been. A little Freudian slip there, because it is a mind-bending first-person puzzler where I dived it today. Surprise, surprise.
Of course.
And you escape from a dream that you're in, and you're solving puzzles. And basically, perception is reality. So you could pick up something like a cube off a table that, would fit in your hand. But if you all of a sudden move it around, and how like if you pull your finger up and it's right next to your eye and it's really big, takes up your whole monitor, and you move it away and it takes up nothing. It's kind of like that. If you drop it when it's real close to you, the thing is now huge, and you can use that to jump on and get to a door, or something like that. It looks really weird in a good way.
Yeah, I would say I would definitely agree with you on picking Superliminal up, because before today, I did not even know it was on console. And I'm going to be picking it up because I've watched speedruns of this game, maybe 20 to 30 speedruns of this game, and it just looks like the most fun thing ever. And then I found out that there was actually an achievement in it for finishing the game in less than 30 minutes. So I'm super excited for that, because it is one of them mind-bending perspective games. I'm super excited.
So yeah, good game on sale, lowest price ever. Koosh.
Yeah, so the Lost Cube, which is $3.74 down from $5, it's not a huge sale, so if you don't pick it up this week, no big deal. It's a platformer. It looks okay. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. If you're that rare bird that likes 360 games that are not backwards compatible and that take more than 20 hours, then you might be interested in Risen 3 Titan Lords. It's $9 down from $30. It has DLC, and they're both $5 each, but for now, at the low price of $1.50. I guess that's because of gold, and maybe this is on sale. I don't know. But you might want to look into that if you are a completionist and you want that DLC. It seems like it's a good price right now. It's an action role-playing game / role-playing game. Maybe it's good. I have it. I'm going to be picking up the DLC. And finally, in a game where you play as a fox, so I know Corey's can at least look at the link. It's Spirit of the North Enhanced Edition. It's $12.49 down from $25. This is an adventure game. It looks like it's got some feels. It's got a good art style. I'm interested in it. Might wait for a deeper sale, but check it out.
Definitely gonna pick up that Risen 3 Titan Lords bundle. That's a really good price.
Yeah, non-BC, baby.
You won't do it, coward.
So hopefully
I
have
will.
a working
ARPGs.
360.
I love ARPGs.
There you go.
40 to 50 hours, though.
Yeah, that's the kind of game that I like. That's not the kind of game you like.
On a 360.
Yeah, that's
But it's on
fine.
a 360.
Now just think. Now just stop mowing the lawn for 40 hours and put it in this game.
Exactly. Put it in a game with a story, Koosh.
Oh, I
Maybe
didn't
a game
even
with
tell
feels.
you that yesterday I found out that employees can go on vacation and call in sick.
Mm.
When Muhammad did
All
that,
right,
I fired
I'm
him.
done.
Send me your Angie's List link, please.
Corey, the worst boss in the world. He's like, nope, no second shot. You are out, my guy.
And I'm not being racist. That was his name, even though he was a professional level mower. You can't just take off without me approving it.
He's a professional level mower. Yes, he can.
Well, I replaced him pretty quick.
Wow. Yeah, with an amateur.
Dang.
No, I got experts coming to me now. I'm an esteemed, reputable business that people want.
You all bloody seen that new esteemed lawnmower boy over the corner with his jobs? He bloody sat Mohammed, he did.
I cannot wait to see what the show notes are going to be for this episode.
Speaking of professional, Chewy has picked the game. Somehow he had access to our show notes, and he wrote in that we should be picking up Procession of Calvary, which is basically a Monty Python game. So let's just go back to that accent and that impression. It's a point-and-click adventure with Monty Python-style British humor with a U. It's supposed to be very, very funny, but also decent puzzles. Also with a U. Uses old paintings animated like the Terry Gilliam sketches and the Rock of Ages games. And of course, being the professional he is, he did not post a price, and it is $10.04 down from $15. So
I have to say I agree with you on this one though. Like them weird I don't mind like roguelites. I think point and click are kind of getting oversaturated at this stage, so you need like a very specific selling point.
They're also
One
boring.
was too many.
What, sorry?
There's too many, and they're boring.
Well,
I said that one was too many.
oh, right. Well, I don't know. I think some point and clicks are quite fun, but them, I looked this up afterwards. Like I have to say, I agree with you. The humor and the style of this game is probably going to sell me on it. Like I'll probably pick this one up.
ooh,
For what it's worth,
only 1
TA
to 2
just
hours.
made an article. Yeah, for what it's worth, TA made an article about like quick games that are good, and this made the list before the sale. But they're British, so it kind of doesn't count there. if whoever Terry Gilliam is, if he's mentioned, I assume
Wow,
he has to.
dude,
So many nerds.
you have angered me already. How do I quit the Discord?
All right, he's gone, guys. So we can move on to Game Pass now. So we got podcasted last week because Xbox, of course, had their little thing and did not want to mention that the following day, a big boy game called Boyfriend Dungeon would be released. That had to be announced at the Nintendo showcase, and then all of a sudden it popped up on Game Pass. It was a surprise launch and a surprise Game Pass edition. So that is now on Game Pass. I played it. I dived it. You
Of
date
course
your
you dived
weapons. You go to dungeons. It's a
Yeah,
thing.
dude, you date your weapons. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of real weird.
Like Soul Eater?
Wow.
That was for you, Knopf. I'm
Thank
so
you
glad
very
you're
much.
here.
Thank you very
They're
much.
eating something. I don't know what.
I am so glad Knopf was here for that joke.
Humankind is on PC. Apparently, that is a lot of people, streamers, even paid to play it.
Yeah,
it's probably gonna be good. I don't know. It's on PC today. Game I talked about last week, Recompile, is out. As you're hearing this, it is out now on Game Pass along with Train Sim World 2. 12 minutes. It's So those are the big boys coming out. And then the end of the month, we're having Psychonauts 2 and surprise Myst on cloud console and PC. So yeah.
I see a lot of people in the
thing.
Discord are happy for Myst.
We have a lot of old people in
A lot
Discord.
of olds, yep.
And they're excited for Myst. I've never played it.
Is it specifically the old heads though, Kush?
I think so, yeah. I mean, this is an old game that was written for Apple and used like the Apple card system. I can't remember. Basically, it was like an old, almost like Word, like the way they would just stack these things together. So they were really creative with how they made the game. At least that's what I remember when they first created it. But yeah, it was a hot item back on the Apple way back in the day.
Wait. Is this going to be Is this going to be the written one, or is this going to be that one with the photo backgrounds?
No, this one's the pretty one.
This was always graphical, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I think I misinterpreted you there. Yeah, no, this game, I seen a YouTuber review this quite a while ago, a guy called BrutalMoose, and he did a couple of the like weird like knockoff versions of the Myst game, and I mean it looks fun. Again, it's a point and click thing, but it has weird humor and it's got a fun puzzle system, so I'll definitely end up playing it anyway, either way, but it's just surprising to see how many of the old heads were like, yo, Myst! Like a lot of people were super happy about it.
We're going straight to Game Facts for this one, boys.
Yeah.
Something that was written in 1999.
Yeah, I feel like the achievements have all got to be progression based, but
yeah,
we'll see. I'm not expecting a whole lot out of the achievement list.
It is on cloud, so you can play it on your phone. That might be fun.
Yeah.
And then lastly, this was not on the big announcement, but some random article came out. Again, not at the Xbox thing they did, just randomly. Surgeon Simulator 2 is coming September 2nd. And you know what? I'll play it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'd like to know if you can do the co-op on it.
Yeah, this one looked fun.
This would probably be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like 40 hours fun, but
if this is co-op, this might be stream game worthy.
Oh, if that's co-op, that's 100% stream worthy.
That's interesting.
So, Noth, why don't you tell us what's been removed or will be removed?
Two of these in particular I can talk about because I finished both of them. August 31st. I almost said August 31st. August 31st, Blair Witch and Double Kick Heroes are both leaving, both of which were amazing games. However, I will say this, Double Kick Heroes, if you want to finish it before it leaves, make sure you have a friend who can also press buttons on your couch co-op with you, and make sure you, what's the word for that? Reconfigure your buttons and turn co-pilot on, because there's no way that you can do those harder, extreme versions of the missions by yourself. There's no way. But Blair Witch.
I wanted to try Double
Oh,
Kick
did
Heroes,
somebody
so I
else
guess I'll
play
put
on your
that.
tag?
oh.
No, somebody sat.
Yeah, did
somebody
somebody else
no,
play?
somebody
Dang.
sat beside me and had their no. Moving
Texting
swiftly on.
Rich.
Blair Witch is also leaving on August 31st. And I seen a couple of people in the Discord today saying they had dived this game a while, but I'm pretty sure this game has been on Game Pass since it got released, and that was 2019.
It's been a very long time. Yeah, I think it probably was released. There's a good walkthrough for it, so I think a lot of people probably will get it done. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'll give it another shot.
That's because you don't like horror games, though, right?
Yeah, the spooks, they get me.
See, that's I think this was what was this? This was Bloober Team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, them guys obviously know what they're doing with games like this, because they did Layers of Fear, which was awesome, and they did The Medium, which was awesome, but I have to say, I think Blair Witch is probably my favorite one they've done so far.
Do you happen to know where Blair Witch was filmed?
Oh god, I actually do know this. Is it Minnesota?
No.
Damn
it. You got the M right.
I have no idea.
Milwaukee?
No. It was filmed in a couple different locations in Maryland.
Maryland, damn it.
Oh, that's right. I do remember you said
Yeah.
that. Now
Yeah, and they actually told me that the Blair Witch house was not too far from where I grew up. So it's kind of funny. I've never actually seen it. So
See, do you want to know how nerdy this is? I had the Blair Witch trading card game back in like 2001, 2002.
You're right. Very nerdy.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you. Anyway.
Also leaving is NBA 2K21 and Stranger Things 3.
Which I was sure is that the one you played was NBA 2K21, but
I thought he might have played Stranger Things.
yeah, I thought that's where. He was going to.
Wow. No, it was Double Kick Heroes of Blair Witch. Mostly Double Kick Heroes because I could get my housemate to help me play it.
We're back to that again.
Well, technically, he didn't play on my. Well, okay.
Yeah, cheater. Send that to Rich.
Yeah, after this podcast, as I was going to say, after this podcast goes out, all 4 of us are getting nerfed off the site.
Yeah. No, we'll take that out in post for sure.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm very good at removing content.
Oh, yeah, or adding it. God.
All right, well, let's get to coming real soon. Corey, you're up first.
All right, Wednesday, August 25th, Phenotopia Awakening. So this is a 2D action RPG adventure game that follows the games like Cave Story or Legend of Zelda. So there you go, 2 big names right there. Metroidvania Review, I'm not calling it a Vainer, but Metroidvania Review said its immersiveness and gameplay variety combined to make Phenotopia Awakening an absolute masterpiece. Like, the game is getting a lot of good accolades. There's different weapons and tools that you use to combat enemies and solve puzzles with. Has rocket boosts, bombs, and flutes. With their achievement system, you earn badges, and so that's going to provide extra challenges and replayability. A lot of good songs and collectibles in the game. 12 bosses, and then they estimate that it's going to take 30 hours for the main campaign and 50 hours for completionists. So
How many
they
lawns
definitely
is that?
how many what?
How many lawns is that roughly?
Oh, that depending on grass height and acreage, that could be about 30 lawns.
30 lawns. Okay.
For the regular one, 30 to 60 lawns probably.
I just saw the top review for this game, and it says, an aesthetically beautiful but unforgivingly mean, altogether lovingly assembled experience. So I'm kind of...
That's a mouthful. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very bright, very colorful. Again, 2D, kind of like the old school Legends of Zelda's, with dungeons and stuff. I'm kind of interested in it. I don't like that it's 30 hours, but I've spent 30 hours doing other things.
You certainly have.
So that's coming out on Wednesday, August 25th. Phenotopia Awakening.
Pixel art looks beautiful for this game, though, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does look good. I'm interested. Now, I had no idea that was coming. I saw it like a week or 2 ago. It does look interesting. What also looks interesting on that same day is Mechstermination Force. Now, this has been out on Switch.
I love that name.
Yeah, it's a cool looking
Watch
game.
the trailer, FuFu.
Yeah, you gotta watch. You gotta check out the trailer on this.
I'm watching the trailer.
Let's read their propaganda. Battle against massive bosses, jump and climb into them, onto them, to find their weak spots and blow them to kingdom come in this action-packed platforming boss rush from the creator of the Gunman Clive series. Now, I have checked that series out. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but
It does not look like this.
I would not have used that as my selling point. So use the magnet gloves to climb on top of robots the size of skyscrapers, double jump over pools of lava with the boost boots, and use your trusty baseball bat to smash the Megamech's energy cores. Now, I know this doesn't sound great, but you have got to watch the trailer. This thing looks like a lot of fun. You're taking on these massive bosses. They're sometimes 2 screens large. And it reminds me of like a Contra mixed with a Bionic Commando. I'm talking about NES games. But mixed with Shadow of the Colossus. You're climbing these bosses and you're shooting them apart a little bit by little. Multiple phases that you're going through, and it looks great. The achievements appear to be mostly for beating the bosses in progression, so not a whole lot of creativity there. I'd say like 90% are just beat this, beat that. There's a no death achievement, so prepare to get good at the game if you want the completion. There's a beat the game in 30 minutes achievement, so once again, prepare to get good. And there's a no damage on each mech. Don't know if that's like in a single run. I'm going to assume no. And then 3-star rating on each boss and an achievement for finding love. So good luck with that. This game looks cool. I don't think it's going to be too expensive. I think around the $15 range. I definitely want to check this out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
that looks very interesting.
I know you said NES and stuff, but it looks good. Don't
It does.
let that be a thing. Can you tell me the name one more time?
Mechstermination Force.
Okay,
That is an awesome name.
that's
too.
a word.
Yeah, like
It's a very good
extermination,
name.
but mechstermination because you're taking down mechs. So
Like Nate said, just watch the trailer. Very
check out the
interesting. It
trailer.
looks different.
Yeah, you should definitely check out the trailer and then tell me I'm wrong. Hey, look, it's my turn to go again. On August 27th, the Friday, there's a game called Baldo, the Guardian Owls. Now,
Well, that's mean.
their propaganda says the prophecy is coming true. A pure heart child has been born. The no heart creature sealed in the underworld by the wise owls is destined to rise again. The gameplay consists of third-person combat, puzzle solving, dungeon crawling in the style of classic 3D Zelda. The developer said it isn't focused on combat mainly, although that's a big part of it, but it will share a lot of elements from the Zelda series. At its core, Baldo is a puzzle and dungeon game, although there are plenty of other secrets inside. Check out the trailer for this game. It looks like a Miyazaki or a Studio Ghibli film. This thing is amazing. The cell shading looks great. It definitely looks like a Zelda. It looks kind of like Wind Waker, a little bit, and I think this thing looks great. It could be a good Zelda game on the Xbox.
It's like hand painted 3D environments, but then all the characters are animated.
Yeah, it doesn't have voice, at least in the trailers I've seen and the gameplay I've seen. It doesn't have voice lines, dialogue. It has the weird sounds like the
Yeah.
But it looks like this could be a good Zelda. Like I was going to say, it's like a cross between a Zelda, like a Wind Waker, and what was that other game? Darn it, that wasn't great. It was a phone game that looked like a Zelda game, and I've completely forgotten it.
Ooh, what is this now? Let's play 20
Genshin
questions.
Impact.
Oceanhorn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it
Never
looks
mind.
like a combination of Wind Waker and Oceanhorn, and Oceanhorn itself is supposed to be a Wind Waker clone. So
Yeah.
so yeah, check it out.
Okay, well, I have been super hyped for a game that's actually coming out at the end of this month, on the 27th. I've been hyped for this game for like the full year. It's a game called Tormented Souls. Corey won't like it. Survival horror, and it's as survival horror as you can possibly get. Like, so much so that even on their website, they were like, we made this game in the vein of Resident Evil and Alone in the Dark. Like, that is literally on their website, and I was like, oh, I'm super interested. But, like, it's got the stuff that you want from those sort of games. Scavenging resources. It's got a Resident Evil 1 inventory. It's got that dynamic camera, but also the sort of locked camera angles that you had in Silent Hill 2. The only thing that sort of we know is that you're basically a lady that goes to find little twin girls in a mansion. Resident Evil 1, yet again. Something happens, you wake up naked in a bathtub, hooked up to a bunch of like mechanical equipment.
I just read that. I'm totally just kidding.
But I was watching the the trailers and stuff and all the promotional material that they keep bringing out from it, and everything constantly looks better and better. So like, there's a couple of things that they have said, and at least in the trailers and on their website, that are still like unknown. One of them in particular is they've mentioned multiple times that even though you're there fighting these enemies or whatever with a crowbar and a nail gun, seems to be your only weapons, don't let the shadows or the darkness embrace you. They constantly say that, so I'm interested to see some weird mechanic with darkness in the game, which will be cool. And then another mechanic I saw in this game was there's mirrors everywhere.
Oh, dear God.
And if you go into them, you go into this mansion in the past, and that helps you solve puzzles in the future or get more lore information or whatever. And I'm just like, this literally ticks every box that I could possibly have for a survival horror game. Also, it has a backdash. So backdash in a survival horror game, that's kind of sick.
It looks good, but it does not look like a game I'm going to play.
Yeah, I'm happy
Really?
for you. I'm very happy for you.
I am
Some of
happy, yeah,
those
exactly.
bosses, man.
You know, I mean, it's gonna be something that Corey ends up bean diving, and that's all I ask for, so.
I'm not even getting that far.
Yeah, I'm too scared to download this thing. Jeez.
No, but this is gonna be a good game, and it's gonna be something that I know maybe one or two other people on the server at least will be
it's
interested
by
in.
P-Cube. Don't they do easy games? No, they don't. Fallen Knight, Raised.
To be fair, I thought you would have known the guys that
All-Star
make easy
Fruit
games.
Racing. I don't play easy games that much.
No, you beam dive hard games and then finish the
Says
easy
the guy's
ones.
600,000 gamer score.
600,000 gamer score. Anymore. Sorry, when was the last time you did a Zidalon?
That's been a while.
The worst thing about it is we can't go back into his account history because it's all stuff he's been dived in the past like a year.
I'm scrolling, man. I'm scrolling and scrolling. I can't even get to a Zidalon.
See, I look at these horror games like this and I go, I have some interest in this, but I know I'm never going to actually play them.
But, see, that's interesting to me. Like, I noticed, like, Icefire and Axe, in particular, when I mention survival horror or action horror games, they're like, no, it's not really for me, and they're more interested in whatever it is they're interested in. But it's surprising to see so many people that dislike horror as a genre.
I don't dislike it, but I don't love it. Like with horror movies, they're not my thing. If you have something that's kind of scary or freaky or whatever, I can watch it or play it, but like I don't like gore. So like I like the Paranormal Activity movies, but I don't like Saw.
So do I. I love the Paranormal Activity movies. Where were you earlier on in that talk about found footage where I was being attacked?
I love Saw. Just to throw that out there.
Saw 1 is a good film. Saw 2 plus are bad films.
But I don't. That's kind of like my stance when it comes to horror stuff. So like when I look at this, it's like I have some interest in this because I know this will be like a good adrenaline, blood boiling kind of a game where it's just like you can kind of get into it, but at the same time, like I never actually am in the mood to play them. Like I have to.
You have to be in a specific mood to play a horror game.
Yeah.
No, I
get
that.
It's so
I get
rare
that.
that I ever want to play one like that.
Well, Corey's never going to play it. Corey's in the mood for putting 40 hours in 3 days into a game about cutting 2 inches of grass, so...
That's it. They do centimeters, so I don't know how many inches that is.
Wow. And then also firing people who, like, were at his son's christening.
Moving on.
Moving on. Gamertag challenge, Nate.
Yes, this is August, and we have Retro Chief 1969 as our patron gamertag. His game, of course, is the very popular Forza series. So any achievement or previous completion in a Forza game is worth 1 bonus draw. And the bonus is, it belongs in a museum. Achievements with words meaning old, example, old, ancient, retro, are worth 1 bonus draw per achievement, limit 1 draw per achievement. So multiple words for old in an achievement are still only worth 1.
Makes sense because
that's pretty cool. I like
in
that.
the aforementioned Beers and Boosting, which has now become a weekly video chat on the weekends, Retro Chief spends a lot of time in there, and yeah, his game room is like a museum. He just had like bins of stuff the other day, and NOTH was like, "Open that up." And what did he pull out? What was like the top one? Some old game.
We kept remember Koosh one night on the
Dead or Alive
show. I was Dead or Alive, right? So we basically did that with Retro the other night because he has all his stuff packed up at the minute, and we were like, open up that second box, open up this box and get the third game across, whatever, blah blah. And he was opening up stuff like Amiga cases, and like he had like a full bin of Jaguar games, and he's only missing like 3, and his collection is one of the most insane things I've ever seen, and it's literally the entirety of his basement at the minute. And
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of insane to see somebody with a collection that big. I don't think I've seen someone with a collection that big before.
It's pretty sweet.
And we've also decided that me and Corey and Inigo are going to go to Retros and steal it all. So
I never said that.
Take that in post.
All right. Well, moving on from there, Brag Camp. This week, take it away, NOTH.
Oh, very first on Brag Camp was actually my sweet summer child, who I must protect at all costs. A grey shark has reached a new milestone of 400 completed games. Fighter X93 Chip has reached a new milestone of 600 completed games, and I'll have to add Borderlands pre-sequel to that for him soon, or otherwise he'll get angry. Lego Head 1977, 750 completed games. And Toadstyle Venom actually has 2 milestones, 1,050 completed games and 1,055 completed games. That's 150 games more than I've completed.
It's a lot of games.
Yeah, it's a lot of games.
In
He's
ratio,
a baby gamer.
apparently we have people playing difficult games. There must be something going on in the Chewy's challenge queso. Fuoth has reached a new milestone with a TA ratio of 1.6. Nightwolf and Inferno 118 have reached a TA ratio of 1.8. And MattCam09 has reached a new milestone ratio of 2.2. Ouch.
Wow.
In streaks, our sweet summer child, a gray shark, is currently on a 50-day achievement win streak. BenL72 is currently on a 150-day achievement win streak. X the Hero at 200 days.
All right, but in gamer score, Mark B has hit a new milestone of 450,000 gamer score. The Rock, 500,000 gamer score. MDP 73, 850,000 gamer score. Redo 47, 950,000 gamer score. Toadstyle Venom, 1.1 million gamer score. NOTH Ultra, who's that guy? 1.3 million gamer score. But the big one, the really important one, we have a new millionaire. Planting42 has joined the Millionaire Club. He has hit 1 million gamer score.
Yeah, there we go. That's awesome to see Plantin hit that number.
GG.
Way to go.
And in leaderboards, as El would say, Alex RD. He's been back on the Metroidvania bandwagon. He is now in the top 10 of completed games for Xbox One Metroidvanias. He's also in the top 20 of the Gamerscore leaderboard for Metroidvanias. Good job, Alex. BenL72 is in the top 1,000 of the TA Difference leaderboard. E. Ruderick, top 100 of the TA leaderboard for role-playing and turn-based. High Road V2, now in the top 100 for TA Difference for sports. And Wakapel, top 10 of the Achievements 1 leaderboard for Battle Royale. I didn't even know you could track.
Oh, wow, nice.
I didn't know you can track Achievements 1.
Neither did I, actually. But I am very glad that you got Creature on your one, Corey, and not me.
E. Ruderick. E. Ruterick.
I'm pretty sure that's still wrong.
Eroteric.
Oh.
I think it's
Probably that.
Eruteirk.
He literally sent us a soundbite of what his name was, and none of us said
it. And our editor never put it in the podcast.
The soundbite was just
Darn
him
you,
saying
editor.
Creature. He just reversed it.
Yes.
Reverse creature. All right. Well, that's the ending for us. We have some more extra content coming up following this. Naf, great to have you on. You got anything you want to plug?
Nope.
Don't ask him that.
Yeah, that's a really horrible phrasing.
It's a horrible phrase.
I set him up. I was going to let him go wherever he wanted with that one.
No, as soon as I heard it, I was like, nope. The only thing I would say is come hang out in Beers and Boostin' with me, Retro, Inigo, and Mario when you see us in. It's fun.
It's like every weekend at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty much every few days. Like
I'm in there too.
Cool.
I have some hours logged.
he does have some hours logged, but he's
I
still
don't
only
talk,
a patron.
right? I'm just,
Oh, you're
I just sit
mowing.
there.
Busy mowing.
He's busy mowing the lawn. Exactly.
They
up a
actually
sweat.
distract me from my mowing.
I would seriously like to say something though, and I would like to say, when Inigo listens to this, I'm coming for you. That's all I want him to know.
Whoa, that's
I
dark.
don't know what it means.
Well, that just took a dark
Yeah.
turn to the end of the podcast.
But yeah, thanks very much for having me over. It was fun. It's now 4:50 a.m. in the wonderful Green Isle of Ireland. Thanks for keeping me up this
Thank
way.
you. Thank you for staying up.
Dear God in heaven.
But yeah, I mean, thanks for the Discord and everything. The Discord's awesome. Past year of my life, gaming wise, and like, you know, having like a social circle for gaming wise has been awesome because of you guys. I met a lot of cool people. Get to hang out with a lot of cool people. So yeah, it's fun.
And I only had
Well,
to
there you
kick
go.
you once.
Yes, if you get a random message with links,
Oh, no.
don't click it.
He just wants to sell his CSGO weapons. God.
Yeah. Do you know where I can get some really nice sunglasses at Sunglasses Hut or something?
God damn it. I'm so sorry.
But we plug it every week. There's not one of us talking about how great the Discord is. If you want to join, discord.io/AH101. And then, as always, you can find us at all the different links on Twitch, Twitter, Patreon, YouTube. Follow us on all the different links, either AH101 or Achievements 101. In 2 weeks is a live show on Twitch. Be sure to follow us and sub to us there. Check it out. We'll do some more duck races. NOTH won't win it, so you got a chance.
I can't believe I never won that stupid duck race.
You did. It
took like 40 people, yeah.
Out of 28 people, you came in second to last.
There were 2 people worse than you.
No, one person worse.
One person worse than me.
Math.
But with that, thank you all for listening. Class is dismissed.
Potato.
Aye.
Potato.
Do I click stop on this now?
Yeah, now you can click
Oh,
stop.
wait, that wasn't recording, actually.
Oh, no.
It's Generation X. It's Generation X. Xbox. Get Xbox. Xbox. It's Generation X. I Gen X. Get Xbox. I Gen X. Xbox. I Gen Xbox. I Gen Xbox. I Gen Xbox.
Welcome back, nostalgia-seeking Chivo hunters, for the 4th edition of Gen Xbox, where 2 old fogies from Generation X sit around and compare some games you can earn some gamer score in with games that we grew up on. What did these new games do well, and where did they fall short? Well, that's what this segment is all about. Joining me today is a freak sans leash, thus there will be not something that takes a part of me. Boom. Na boom noom na nima na da boom na do noom na namina. It's freaky.
Oh, was that corn? Is that corn you were trying to sing?
Yeah, that was some corn there. Yeah, that's
boom,
the lyrics, yes. Yeah, so you got off the leash today.
Yep. Yeah. The wife's actually out of the house right now at the gym, so I'm definitely off the leash right now, so to speak.
Ooh, man, fantastic. Mine's off dancing without me because she enjoys it better without me. So, there you go.
Why drag somebody if you enjoy something better without somebody? Why drag them to it? You know?
Yeah. Even though that's it took me a minute to kind of get over the blow to my ego there, but then I realized it was more time. I don't have to drive across town to go dance. So
there you go.
So it's a win.
I don't know how many times I tried to get my wife into actually playing games with me, and she just certain games she'll watch and she'll like, oh, okay, this is kind of interesting, but she will just want to watch it. But there's I could probably count on one hand the number of games she'll actually play with me. So
that's cool. Mine just sits on the couch and reads and does productive things while I just waste my time getting imaginary internet points. So there you go.
Hey, it's all good. Yeah, it's how we all do.
So who went? Who was the? Let's see. Who's first this time?
I don't know. I know I had my amazing. I don't know if I can do better than Iron Snout.
I think that was second because
maybe we should just retire.
I came second because I definitely wouldn't have wanted to follow that up. So
right, I can go first today. Then that's fine.
All right, hit us with it.
All right. So the game I'm going to talk about this. It's kind of evening right now, but you're going to hear it's actually one of 3. There's 3 games out in this series. It is Geometry Wars Retro Evolved Squared. Or 2, if you just want to say 2. But there is a Geometry Wars Retro Evolved, and then a Geometry Wars Retro Evolved Cubed, if you look at how it's written. But this is a twin-stick shooter, and it was put out on the 360 2008, July 30th, by Bizarre Creations. And if you've played this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a twin-stick shooter. Geometry Wars, you're basically fighting, you're just shooting shapes and different things, and each shape has its own predetermined movement, and you're collecting geomes, is what they're called, by And when you collect geomes, it adds to your multiplier score. So like each enemy is worth so many points, and then you can get like a times, depending on how long you survive, you can get a times 2,000 multiplier on your score to add or to multiply that. Have you played this game? Have you played any of the Geometry Wars?
No, and honestly, I know this sounds kind of stupid, but up until just now, I honestly thought it had something to do with math. I thought that it was like a, but I see that it's just shapes, right?
It's just shapes, and that's it. It's a twin stick.
So it could just be called Shape Wars instead of Geometry Wars.
Yeah,
but they kind of
it could be. It's the first two are they suffer from the fact that they're only 200 gamer score. Or Xbox Live Arcade.
Is any of them real games, or is
it just the third one? Yeah, the third one was released on the one, and that one is a full 1,000 pointer, and that one also adds the third dimension to it, so to speak, because the first two are just 2D shoot 'em ups, twin sticks, and the third one adds you can add shapes, and the boards you go around can spin around you, and there's like peanut shapes and cylinder shapes and sphere shapes. So it's a lot of fun too. I highly recommend it. But we're gonna just talk about Geometry Wars 2 today.
Seems like there's a lot of games like this, like was that Space Serpent? I think it is called Space Serpent.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, it's Super Space Serpent SE. It's supposed to be an easy game, but that game is balls hard, man. I don't. If you're good at this type of game, it's listed as a 1 to 2 hour completion, but that's a bunch of rubbish if you ask me. But yeah, go ahead, give it. I mean, it's only got 1,400 TA, but I guarantee you're going to fight for every last point of that. So
yeah.
And then there's one called Polychromatic.
Okay, I haven't heard of either of these. There's one I played. I'll have to look it up.
This one, the only reason I played it was for weird numbers, like to hit certain milestones to even out my score. For example, it has a 1-pointer, a 2-pointer, a 3-pointer, a 22-pointer. It has all kinds of weird pointers like that, but not especially fun in any way. And it's one of those games that just sits on my tag right now. So.
Yeah, there was one twin stick shooter that I remember playing early in the Xbox One development days. Might have been a launch title, but it was. You would shoot, and then you would go down a different level. Like once you passed the level, like a hole would open up in the level, and you'd fall down to the different level. And it was one of the first games I remember actually completing because, besides like Avatar: The Burning Earth or something like that, because it was one of the first games that was like a 0 to 1 hour for me. And I was like, oh wow, before that game, I was like, man, I need to boost all the, boosting sessions and whatnot. And now we have just a gamut of 0 to 1 hours, 0 to 20 minutes sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think there's even a whole section of just 0 to 5 minutes now.
Yeah, right.
It's just
hold the right bumper and get through the visual novel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shoot. So. It seems like there's some other ones I'm forgetting. There's one that I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was like it was really fast paced like that. So is this one like really fast paced? Is that kind of the
yes? This one definitely is fast paced.
All right.
And it's so in the way this one differs from Geometry Wars Retro Evolved is I actually haven't played a lot of the first one. I haven't played a lot of it. The second one's my favorite. It's probably the one I've sank the most time into. The third one is just underneath the second one, in my opinion. But the second one's my favorite. There's six? There are 6 modes to play, right? So the first mode is called Deadline, and you have an infinite amount of lives. You start off with 3 bombs. If you're familiar with any kind of space shoot 'em up game, you hit the right trigger, or you hit a different button than your fire button, and it's like a nuclear bomb going off. It clears the screen, right? So it's you have an infinite amount of lives, but you only have 3 minutes to score as much as you can, right? Mm-hmm. The second mode is called King. And it's, like I said, kind of like King of the Hill, I guess. But anyway, there's little circle arrows, these spherical areas on the screen, and those are safe zones. And when you're outside of those safe zones, you cannot shoot at all. But when you're in the safe zone, the enemies can't get in and get at you. So the only time you can shoot is when you're in the safe zone, and you have to shoot out at the enemies.
Oh, Mario, we're talking about that safe zone, Mario.
Yeah.
That kind of King of Hill?
Yeah, that kind of King of Hill. Damn it, Bobby. I smell propane. Well, you know propane doesn't actually have a smell.
That's right. Yeah. The other one I was thinking of was 60-second or 60-second something or another shooter.
I think that was the one I was thinking of too, where you advance to the level. You have a minute on each level, and then the next level advances. Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't especially enjoy that game, and I still haven't finished that game. So this is definitely a hard sell here.
This definitely is. The overall, it's a hard sell. One, it's only 200 points. So,
Oh yeah, well it's just right out then.
Yeah. So, and it is $10. So
$10 for $2 or for 200 pointer.
Yeah.
A bit ambitious, that one.
I like it. I think it's worth the $10 if you're into this kind of game. But yeah, it's a 200 gamer score with 353 TA, so it's not a whole bunch of TAD. Most of that TAD, I believe, is tied up in the last achievement called Smile. Yeah, that's a 4.62 ratio. But do you get that achievement for buying the game and making the person that's selling this 200 pointer for $10 smile? No, actually, Smile is actually in the last. You can only get that by unlocking the last mode called Sequence, and there are 20 stages, and each stage there's a predetermined amount of enemies that come at you in the same pattern. So if you play it enough, you'll learn and memorize the patterns. And you have to, and when you so you see the 20 stages up on your screen, and it's kind of like almost like a little map. You see like 20 squares in a 4x5 grid. And you have to die on certain stages to make like a smiley face on the grid at the end. So
I see.
But there are a lot of videos on TA about how to get that and what to go about that. And I've attempted that. Every now and then I'll dust off this game because that's the only achievement I have in this to finish it. Every now and then I'll dust it off to try to get that. But I think I've kind of given up on trying to get it because it's one of those games where you have to really kind of stay on top of it to keep your skill.
Right.
Because it is very fast paced. It ramps up difficulty pretty quickly. In that 3 minutes, you have all these enemies coming at you, and all different kinds of enemies coming at you. It starts off with just the, just the regular. So you have like a square, a pink square that kind of it's two squares linked together. They just rotate. They don't really kind of come after you. They're just there to take up space. And then you have like a purple pinwheel that spins around. It's just floating out in space. It also just kind of moves randomly. But then you have it's gonna kind of sound like a Lucky Charms commercial. You have blue diamonds coming at you too, and green shamrocks and everything. But every shape is a different color, or every enemy is a different color and a different shape. And they all have their own set of movements. So like if it's a blue diamond, it's gonna come at you. It's gonna come straight at you, and that's how it is. If it's a green square inside of a square, it's gonna come at you, but then also try to avoid your shots. Like it moves around, so it's kind of
this kind of sounds like Hyperdot as well.
A little bit, yeah. I can see how Hyperdot gets some from this. So it
seems like the triangles always come right after you. Those triangles are jerks, man. That seems like whatever game they're in, they always come right at you. And then the boxes just kind of float along, and then the triangles, man.
Mm-hmm. No. Well, this one, because you have the pyramids, which would be like a pyramid. What is a pyramid? With a 3-dimensional triangle, right? They come right at you, and then they, when you shoot them and destroy them, they break off into like little pyramids that kind of just sit there and get in your way. Which kind of brings me into what this game really reminded me of, a game that is almost older than we are, Asteroids.
Oh, I think I know. Yep, Asteroids.
Yes, it is very, the Asteroids is not, I don't want to say it's frenetic, because Asteroids, I remember playing Asteroids for hours and hours, and getting decent enough to where that game is just, your palms are sweating and you're just sitting there just trying to shoot everything on the screen. But
what was your approach? Did you try to move as little as possible?
Yeah, that was my approach. Move as little as possible, and
if it's imminent, then move.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm gonna die, then get out of there, or press down on
spaceships, man.
Press down. Remember, you could hyperspace out of there too, and you hope you didn't get put in a spot that was worse than what you left at.
Yep. I hated those spaceships, man. Those UFOs.
Yes, yeah, the big one and the little one, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Phew.
But yeah, so if you're not familiar with Asteroids out there, it's a game that was put out in 1979 in arcade cabinets.
Bless.
Yeah, 1979. So it is just slightly younger than we are. And it was ported to the
God, we're old.
Yeah, it was ported to the Atari systems in the 80s, and it sold over 3 million copies. Like, that's how popular this game was. And you know, the Atari 2600 and everything, they have the one joystick and the button. So if you pressed up on the joystick, it gave you like a little rocket boost, and it pushed you off in the direction you're facing. And then if you hit left or right, you turned, you rotated either counterclockwise or clockwise, depending on which way you moved the joystick. And then if you pressed down, you would actually warp to a different spot on the screen. And the screen had wraparound, so like if an asteroid went off the right side, it showed up on the left side, and vice versa. Up, you know, if it went up off the top of the screen, it would come up the bottom of the screen, and the same thing would happen to you. If you went off the side of the screen, you showed up on the other side of the screen. And man, I remember having hours and hours of this game, playing it and just seeing how far you could get. Because you got like, this is back during Extra Men. You would get Extra Men like every 5,000 or 10,000 points. I forget what it is. But
yeah, that's and then for those of you that don't know why it's called Asteroid, it's because there's a bunch of asteroids on the screen.
Yeah, I guess I should have.
Yeah, and some of them are really large, and so then you shoot them, and then they break into smaller asteroids, and then if you shoot that one, it breaks into smaller asteroids until finally it disappears.
Mm-hmm.
So
and like the larger ones are worth 100 points, and then the smaller they are, the more points they're worth. But like the faster they move too, so they're harder to get.
Oh yeah.
And then
like a sloppy person would, just have no kind of approach to it. But what I would do is, as soon as one of the big asteroids came to me, I would shoot it and kill all of it before I move on to the next one, kind of thing, and if all possible, because otherwise you get all these tiny little asteroids flying around everywhere, and it's not easy.
Yeah,
not easy.
No, not easy at all. It's like
keeping track of that.
Yeah, it starts off and it's kind of like, and it had that I mean, it was when was Jaws released? I should have looked that up too, because the music in Asteroids was very similar to Jaws. It was like dun 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 pew pew pew. Yeah, it had that kind of ominous tone to it.
And the main hero is a mouse pointer. Yeah,
it is. It's exactly what it looks like, as a mouse pointer. But yeah, no. So you'd have the asteroids flying around, and then every now and then, flying saucer would come on the screen and shoot at you. So,
and that was how they foiled all the people staying in the middle of the screen. And yeah, because that thing, it was pretty accurate. I mean, you had to look alive, or else you would not be alive.
Like, you could stay in the screen for a good long time. I remember just being like, okay, I'm just going to rotate here and stay in the screen and just shoot everything that comes close to me, and then just make sure just stay right here.
Yeah. So, seems like a good plan until like Tyson says, until you get punched in the face, right? Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, and it's if you've played either one of these games, you know exactly what we're talking about. It's the frenetic pace of Geometry Wars maybe is not quite so frenetic in Asteroids, but you do get that sweaty palm feeling when you get up in the levels and you're like, oh my gosh, and you have to move around, and you're moving around. And the thing is, when you put that thruster on your mouse pointer, like, you go. Like, you start off kind of slow, but then you go. Like, you're going fast. So you gotta. And the thing is, you'll eventually stop. But if you want to, because I think it's the way the programming is, you have to turn, and point the opposite direction. You gotta do like a
Tokyo drift, man.
Yeah, exactly. You have to turn and point the opposite direction and thrust that way to slow down. So like, it is definitely a palm sweating frenetic game as well, just in back in the day. Maybe not so much anymore. I'd like to go back and play this. I was trying to find a ROM last night, but I don't have like I'd want to play like with a joystick and one button, just to kind of get that old school feeling.
See, now you're gonna be jealous. I have an Arcade Legends downstairs that has just like a crap ton of games on it.
Yeah, it's one of those things you just plug right into the TV, and it has like Centipede and
this thing's got everything, man. Yeah, it's good.
I am jealous, actually.
Tons. It even has Street Fighter on it. It goes all the way up to Street Fighter.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like all the 80s and 90s. Yeah. It's got the 6 buttons, so you get the full arcade experience.
Oh, that's great.
It's pretty,
I remember those,
I
those
love
big
that thing.
6-button controls you can get they cost more than the game.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're pretty cumbersome. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and you set it on your lap, and it wasn't too bad. Yeah, I probably still have mine somewhere, but yeah, that was good times.
Yeah, no, it was
Cool.
so much fun. So, well, let's talk about what Geometry Wars did right, I believe.
Oh, okay, sure.
In this although it is a 200 pointer, the first 2 are 200 pointers. I think the achievement list is very diverse, and it makes you kind of play all the different modes of the game, right? So the general beat the game is game over, reach the end of sequence, and sequence is the last mode you have to unlock. So when you start playing the game, not all the modes are unlocked. You have to play. It forces you to play through each mode to unlock the next mode. Like you'll play Deadline, and then as you're playing Deadline, it'll say like the next mode to unlock is King, and it'll say, if you unlocked it, you're 27% unlocked, and then you play another game of Deadline, you're 77% unlocked, and then you play another game of Deadline, and then finally you unlock King and everything. So, but my favorite achievements from Geometry Wars 2 are Wax On and Wax Off.
Nice.
So
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it has a little turtle on the Wax On.
Yeah. And so what these two achievements are, it's in the mode Pacifism, where you cannot shoot at all. You have 1 life and you can't shoot whatsoever, and the only enemies in this are the blue diamonds that just come right at you. And then there are these barbell looking like gates that you can't. The only way to destroy these are to fly through the gate. And when you fly through the gate, it creates a little explosion, and it kind of destroys all the enemies that are around it too as well. So you clear the explosion, but it destroys the enemies. So Wax On and Wax Off is you have to rub your ship along the outside edges of the map. So Geometry Wars, the map doesn't wrap around like it's on there are outside boundaries on the left and to the right. I mean, it's bigger than your screen, but there are outside boundaries. It's maybe just a touch bigger than the screen. It's not huge, but anyway, so Wax On, Wax Off, you have to rub your ship along the 4 arena walls in Pacifism. So Wax On, you do it once. You rub, you're waxing the walls, so to speak. And it shows you on the screen when you're doing it, like it changes the color of the wall so you know where you're going, so you don't have to, did I get this corner? Did I get this corner? Did I get this corner? No, it shows you the whole thing. And then Wax Off is to go back and retouch them all again after you've done it all. And it's a fun, definite experience because you can't shoot anything. You're trying to go through these gates to kill things that are chasing you, and yet you're also trying to, rub on the walls so you can get everything done around it and everything. So, let's see Surf is another good one. It's dodge 8 lines of enemies in waves without firing a shot or destroying any enemies. So Waves is another mode where you have these orange rockets that come at you, and they're all like in a singular line where it'll take up half the screen. And the movement of these guys, they just go back and forth. They don't go sideways. They just whatever way they're pointed, they just go back and forth at a constant speed. They get to the end, they turn around, and they go back. But so the first wave appears and goes. You got to go around it, and the second wave appears on the opposite side. So you kind of got to maneuver your way around those two. Then 2 more waves show up going the opposite directions, and then there's waves going diagonal and stuff like that. So that's one where you kind of got to go around all the waves without shooting anything. I think it says 8 lines of enemies before you got to shoot anything. So, yeah, I mean it's a very colorful game. Cool. It's very frenetic, very fast paced. There is kind of a tight learning curve, but if you're, I'm not halfway. I'm not. Shoot 'em ups aren't my best genre, but
me neither.
I definitely had a lot of fun with this. It is a there's a steep learning curve, but once you get into the zone, you're really kind of the trick is just to not use your bombs when you get scared, because you can your ship moves fast. Your ship moves faster than most of the enemies, so you can get out of any tight situation you're in. You just got to be able to focus and do it. But there are definite times where you need to use your bombs because you just can't get out of it.
Nice.
But yeah,
All right, well,
very,
cool.
very colorful.
What did it do wrong?
Not much, honestly.
Besides being 200 points.
A 200 pointer, not much. I would say maybe not having all the game modes unlocked right away. Like you have to. I mean, it forces you to play it. But I mean, if I was a developer, I'd want everybody to get the most out of my games because But why not jump in somewhere to wherever you want to jump in at? I mean, I guess if I had to knock it for some reason, then that would be my really only knock on it is that it's it doesn't come with all the game modes unlocked. You have to play through each one before you can unlock the next one. I mean, this game actually had achievement tracking on the 360. Like it would track the achievements in the game for you while you were playing. So I mean, it does that. I mean, it's pretty much. I think I gave what did I give this? I think I gave it 5 stars. I should have given it 5 stars if I didn't.
Wow, that's really got you.
Oh, I gave it 4 stars, but that was back when I was a tough critic.
You softened in your old age.
I did. Well, I mean, it's rated 4.13 on TA, so it's rated higher than what I gave it. It's an 8 to 10 hour completion, 200 gamer score, but it's definitely. I mean, I think it's worth the $10. It's the multiplayer. Oh my gosh, the multiplayer is a lot. I mean, if you have your couch co-op, there's 2 to 4 player multiplayer. We have 4 ships on the screen shooting everything, but there's one where there's one multiplayer where it's 2 players where one person controls the ship while the other person controls the shooting.
Oh, okay, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. Me and my roommate, my college roommate, would play this for hours, just be up all night. Because there are a lot of pretty colors, and there are a lot of things sometimes in college kids do to enhance pretty colors.
I see.
So but yeah,
probably took you more than 8 to 10 hours. Then.
Yeah, way more than 8 to 10 hours. Let's see. I don't know if they don't time track on 360 games, or at least there's no time tracked on me for this one. But yeah, it's definitely a fun game. I highly recommend it, even at $10 for a 200 score. I know I'm not selling you on that, but
no, the 8 to 10 hours thing, and I'm sure it's not going to be 8 to 10 hours. So yeah, nope, hard pass.
Well, it's okay. It's not for everybody. Not for everybody. I mean, it is backwards compatible, so.
Yeah. Somebody would be a sucker for that. So.
All right. Well, what have you brought to the table today?
All right. Well, I have. I think what I'm going to do is give you the old school version first. So I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to tell you what the game that one of my favorite classics arcade, I would say. And it's one that I don't think is widely known, so I hope you know this game. If not, you have time to look it up in YouTube while I gush about it. But the game is Two Tigers. All right, so Two Tigers, it was released in 1984 by Bally Midway, and it is a co-op game. So you can play it by yourself, but it's more fun in co-op. And basically you're flying an old school plane and you're trying to sink a giant boat, battleship type thing, and there's other planes flying around. You're shooting them while you're dropping bombs on the battleship, and there's some other mechanics at play too. For example, later stages there's a mine that floats by and you have to wait and be careful not to accidentally shoot it before it gets to where the ship is.
Okay.
Otherwise, it'll blow up and you won't get credit for it because it creates an instant sinkhole on the ship. And that the goal is to shoot down all these other planes, and every time a plane hits the ship, it makes a little damage mark. So it's like little squares. And so in the early stages, like the ship will be 3 squares thick, and so you have to drill down 3 squares to the water, and then it'll spring a leak. And so you are trying to shoot down planes. Every time they hit it, it takes away 1 box on that certain spot, and then you can also drop bombs at the same time, and the bombs each take off 1 little square as well. So there's a lot going on, and the goal, you can die as many times as you want, and you will. You'll crash into, there's a lot flying around, a lot of debris going on, and you'll crash, and it's kind of annoying because it makes a really annoying noise when it's like beep, and then kind of like Q-Bird a little bit, but you'll crash and it seems like it takes forever to respawn because you're on the clock, because the game, it doesn't matter how many times you die, the game is over when the ship pulls out of port and you haven't sunk it.
Okay.
So, for example, the first stage is like get 3 water spouts. So, if you have 2 water spouts and that any second, I never timed it, but I don't know how much time you get per stage, and it lets you know, the ship starts letting you know it's about to leave. It's like, mwah, mwah, and it like does this little horn thing, and you're like, oh crap, I better hurry, and then it pulls away, and if you were unsuccessful, the game is over. So you can keep going as long as you keep sinking the ships, and if you have a good teammate, you get a plan. And my brother and I, we played the hell out of this one back in the day. They had a Two Tigers game at the local pizza place called Pinocchio's Pizza, and we played the hell out of some Two Tigers at Pinocchio's Pizza, and it was so much fun. And we had a good system. I would focus more on the bombs, like creating direct, like it has screen wrap on it, like you were mentioning, which is awesome because you can literally fly through the water and then you're back in the sky. So that makes complete sense. And
That's great.
and so you can line it up like you're going completely vertical, right? And so as long as you don't hit any ships, you can drop a bomb when you get real close to the ship, and then by the time it hits, you're wrapped around, and then you're back in the sky headed in a straight line.
Right, the same spot you dropped the bomb at.
Yeah. So you can create the little spouts pretty quick. So it's pretty advantageous for one of the 2 players to do that, and then the other person just kind of focus on clearing the air with like shooting all of the ships in the air. So one of the things that was really cool about this game was that there was no joystick. The early versions of the game, I think the ones that came out first, they had a dial. So you had a dial and then the bomb and the shoot button.
Yeah.
So you just kind of rotate it left and right, and so that's the direction that you would turn.
So you're just always moving forward. You just rotated the dial.
Yeah, you always move forward. You can't stop. Yeah, so you, which makes sense. Planes don't really, stop in the air.
Yeah.
And so if you rotate it left, you're basically going counterclockwise, and then if you rotate right, then you're headed downward, kind of a thing. So, but yeah, it was a really cool mechanic. It was really fun to play. It's not. I do not have this one on my Arcade Legends. However, my brother and I love this game so much that I bought a cabinet of it and
Nice.
drove all the way out to Knoxville to pick it up.
Oh, nice.
And brought it back, and it works. I have it sitting downstairs, and I can play it anytime I want. But it's a really fun little game, and it's actually in a Tron cabinet of all things.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of the same setup as, I don't know.
Yeah, Tron used the dial also, didn't it?
I think it did.
Yeah.
It had a joystick on it though, but this one doesn't. But they just used it's the same shape, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a real old cabinet, but it's really nice. I like it. But anyway, that was the old school game. So I assume you've never played this.
I did not. I looked it up. I was looking at images of it. And I have not played this at all.
Oh man, it is such a wonderful game. If you ever see this at some retro arcade somewhere, definitely. What do they call those barcades now?
Yeah, no, there's actually one in the next city over. It's only about a 20-minute drive. So yeah. No, I need to go. It's called Pixels actually. I need to go check it out.
Nice. Yeah. So if they have Two Tigers, definitely give it the time of day because it is a fun little co-op experience. So, but anyway, that was the game that I grew up on that game a lot. That's probably in the top 5. Definitely top 5. Like old school games that I played back in the day because it seemed like it was at Pinocchio's Pizza forever. So anyway, so I haven't really found a game that was similar to that. And it was kind of, it's kind of a niche little game where the rotating scheme is not used very often, I guess. And so I actually found one, and I was like, I was in love with this game like the second it started. And so a lot of people will probably not like the steering on it because it works just like Two Tigers did. And so the game is called Aircraft Evolution.
Okay.
I had never heard of it. It's a Sometimes You game. It was released July 2020. And it's a 2 to 3 hour completion. It's listed in the action genre. It's not a challenging game. It's only worth 1,249 TA, and it's $10 as well. But it's a real game, not like the one you brought. So this game, it's really a fun little playthrough. It is really cool. It really reminded me of Two Tigers. So what did it do well? It freaking reminded me of Two Tigers. I have not had a game really remind me of Two Tigers since Two Tigers. So this game is kind of like the, I guess, the unofficial spiritual successor to it.
Yeah.
It just took 40 years to get it done, but it has very similar controls. Like I said, with the you're just basically pointing your vessel, and you're either going up or down, and that's that's the way it's going to rotate. So you'll have to loop around the sky and make another round coming back the other way.
Does it have the screen wrap?
It doesn't. I'm not really sure what happens if you keep flying off in one direction. I never pushed it, but you completely disappear, and seems like I was off the screen for a good 5 seconds, and then I was like, I better turn around. And I don't know. I don't know if you eventually crash or they just wait until you turn around. I don't know what happens. It's like this. It's very cryptic what happens off screen. So I don't think you can die, and I don't think you can cause damage. They're just like turn around anytime. I don't know if you have so many seconds to get back on screen or not. I don't know. I never tested that. So, but no, it doesn't have screen wrap. You can crash. In fact, that's about the only way you're going to die is if you accidentally crash into the ground. So, but anyway, it takes Two Tigers and adds onto it an aspect of kind of modernation, if you will. And what I mean by that is there's 4 eras to defeat. So you start off on the first era, and so that's really primitive. That's like World War I, I would imagine. Very primitive planes and tanks and stuff. And then the second era is probably closer to World War II, then World War III. Well, there's no World War III, but
hopefully not yet.
It's closer to like modern wars, and then era 4 is kind of like a futuristic type thing. You're fighting like mechs and stuff, and so it kind of progresses, and there's an achievement for beating each one of the eras, and it's just a nice, easygoing little playthrough. So I think there's like 10 stages per era, and it really doesn't take that long. I mean, it's a 2 to 3 hour completion. That's pretty accurate. I would imagine that I finished it something like that, and I dilly-dallied a little bit because I was enjoying it. Actually, I didn't dilly-dally too much. I finished it in 2 hours and 34 minutes. So there you go.
Right in the middle of the. Yeah,
right in the middle. So that I thought I dilly-dallied. I guess I didn't dilly-dally, but so it has the modern aspect of it. Also, it took Two Tigers and added upgrades. All right, so with the upgrades, you can upgrade like to different. You can buy like different types of bombs and stuff. And all I could think was, man, if I had these bombs and Two Tigers, it would make it so much easier. Because at some point you get like these ships that you have to put like 7 holes in, and they're like really thick boats. It's like 4 deep. It has a bunch of crap on top of it. It's just a hot mess. And so I don't think I ever really. We might have sunk a 7-holer a few times, but that was pretty much the end of your quarter right there. And but anyway, this game, you can buy all these different types of bombs. You can upgrade your ship, and it really makes it. I don't know. It's just kind of like there's just more to it, I guess you would.
Yeah.
So, and then once you get into the game, it's just fun carnage, like just super easy to get into, because it's like this single plane just goes Rambo and just murderizes like entire armies on these stages. It's really funny because you're like this little plane, and you're just taking down everything. I mean, you're taking bullets left and right, and granted, I played it on easy mode, so maybe it's a little more realistic when you play on a non child setting. But when I played it, I mean, just super fun carnage. You're just shooting, bombing, you have to shoot the bomb as the same as Two Tigers. I mean, it's really like whoever made this game, well, sometimes you made it, but whoever coded this definitely played Two Tigers, because it really took me back to that game a lot, and I really loved it. And
that's great.
As far as the achievements go, there's achievements. You're basically going to just get it from playing the game. So as you progress through the 4 eras, you're going to destroy a whole lot of enemies, like a whole lot of enemies. So there's achievements for destroying like X amount of cannons, X amount of tanks, planes, buildings. All of them are very realistic. You'll get it without any effort at all. And
I see there's 500 tanks, 200 buildings.
Yeah. And then there's a bunch for upgrades, like buying the best ship, fully upgrading a ship, things like that. And if you want to know how to, if you really want to know how to play this game, all you have to do is, and this is kind of where it fell short, I guess. Yeah. And granted, I played it on super easy mode, so so this may be not true of like the rest of if you played it normal, but it kind of fell short in the sense that it was very easy to get overpowered. Mm-hmm. So like on easy mode, you can get to almost the end of the second era with the first crappy plane, and you'll know when it's getting more challenging because it takes longer to beat the stage. You're not going to necessarily die. It's going to take longer because your bullets don't cause as much damage. So you'll say, okay, it's time to upgrade. And so then by that time, you'll have enough money because it has like a bunch of planes that you're supposed to buy. Don't buy those. Just wait, and you can scroll all the way over to like page 3 and afford a really nice one. And then that one will get you all the way to the last era. And then just by that time, you're going to have more money than you know what to do with. So you just buy the last ship and fully upgrade it. And anytime you upgrade, like the first time you upgrade, you like fully deck it out. You can literally just fly through things. You can just crash through everything. You like it's just ridiculous. Yeah. Like there's some stages where it's like a dogfight, and you just purposely just ram the ships and they blow up. And then, you have so much health, and it's just so
there's no era locked planes where you can only use these planes for the first era and whatnot.
No.
Okay.
No, you could theoretically beat the game with the basic plane. It would probably take a long time, but you theoretically could. So
they should have made that an achievement. Beat the game with the first plane.
Oh yeah, that would be kind of challenging. I mean, it actually wouldn't, because all you'd have to do by that time, you'd have so much money, you just buy these bombs. So like the final enemy, I just dropped all these high-powered bombs on him, and it was like over in like a minute.
Is that the super heavy bomb?
Yeah, I think I can't remember what it was called, but it just wreaks havoc on everything. And so in the later stages, you literally get so much money, and you just really don't even know what to do with it. So you just buy all these bombs, and you can just fly straight, because your plane is like you're not going to crash or die because you can take so much damage, and you just blanket the whole stage with these bombs, and it's over really quick. And then guess what? You get more money, and then you just buy more of those bombs. So, so it was great. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and I would recommend it to anybody that has any kind of attachment to Two Tigers, especially. But even if you don't, it's a really fun little game. So really easy to get into. 2 to 3 hours, you're in, you're out. Bada bing, bada boom, you're done. So, yeah.
Nice. So, what did you rate it? I see it's got a 3.17 on TA. What was your rating for it?
I shall rate it right now. I go straight 5, baby.
I think we have a clean sweep so far with your games.
Yeah,
fives
straight 5,
fives
man.
across the board.
Hey, if I'm going to talk about it, Hey, if I'm going to talk about it, I am going to give it a nice review. So,
No, I used to have a very, very stringent review system. Like 5 had to be a perfect game, and now I'm like, yeah, I don't care.
Well, this is the most perfect Two Tigers clone I've ever played. So there you go.
Yeah, perfect. That's great.
Well, do you happen to have another amazing guide to read to us this time?
I don't. I didn't prepare a guide today.
Oh, okay.
I should have.
I do have another flashback retro Chivo of the day, if you like.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's do it.
Okay, so this is your flashback retro Chivo of the day. It comes to us from Jurassic the Hunted. Dun, dun, dun. It's like an old 360 game where you're just going around blasting dinos and stuff. This particular achievement is worth 25 gamer score, and you get it for killing 5 scorpions with the RPG. Doing so unlocks Crispy Critters. Now, Crispy Critters, much like Two Tigers, played a very big part in my childhood. This damned commercial featuring this effing Muppet thing banging away on a piano, it like brainwashed me with this theme song. Me and like every other young sponge mind out there, as I was waiting for Pee-wee's Playhouse or Smurfs or Gummy Bears to come back
Saturday
on.
morning cartoons.
So, oh my gosh. And so as you're waiting there, this cartoon or this cereal, it's a cereal in case you don't know what Crispy Critters is.
I knew.
It was a cereal and with lots of crunch, and it freaking they must have bought every ad they could possibly buy. It was on constantly. And so I have to admit that to this day, and I'm well into my 40s here, this was like, God, I think it came out in the mid 80s, this commercial. And so to this day, I still have the entire theme song memorized.
Oh geez, really? Are you going to sing it for us?
And so I could pull it up and read it to you, but I don't have to read it to you because I have it freaking memorized.
Yes.
So here you go. This is Crispy Critters by Elroy. Hello, my name is Crispy. How do you do? New Crispy Critter cereal is entirely new. Yes, it's indubitably delicious. Here comes Crispy Critters, a new wholesome bunch. A low sugar cereal with lots of crunch. Yes, it's indubitably delicious. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And then there's like this little sheep at the end that goes, Crispy Critters is part of a balanced breakfast. And then, ra-cha-cha-cha.
That is amazing.
You can go look this thing up. That's exactly how it sounds. It's like this terrible singer guy banging. It's like a weird-ass Muppet on a piano, and he's just like, hello, my name is... I mean, that's how he sounds. Yeah.
No, I mean, I remember I don't remember the song, but I mean, I do remember the song now, but I remember the commercial, the cereal and everything, and just...
Oh God!
What was your favorite Saturday morning cartoon, or any morning cartoon?
Oh, definitely Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Nice, that was good.
Oh yeah.
What's the word?
It launched stars, man. It was a star maker, man. God. Launched Cowboy Curtis.
Yep.
And Morpheus, man.
Yep. That was Lawrence Fishburne, right? He was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man. And then he had the word of the day. And,
yeah. That show was wild.
Yeah.
It had a little bit of everything. So.
Yeah, gosh, I remember what was the chair? Was it the chair's name was Cherry, right? Cherry.
Yep, Cherry the chair.
Cherry.
They kept it simple, man.
No.
They had all kinds of weird little creatures on that thing, man.
What was it called when they had the crystal ball guy come out? Mecca lecca hi, mecca hiney ho.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man.
Good time, man. Man, if you have no idea what Pee-wee's Playhouse is, go look it up. Yeah. Like the theme song, the intro theme song alone is going to scare you off. You're going to be like, What is this? What the hell is this? I mean, it looks like this guy is like on LSD and he's like running around and he thinks his whole house is alive.
He very may well have been.
Yeah, I mean, I showed. It's funny because I mentioned. I don't know. It came up in conversation with some of my students, and I was like, I watched Pee-wee's Playhouse, and they had no idea what it was, and I was like, let me just pull it up, and they like, what the? I mean, they had so many questions. They what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a show like that one since then.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the late night Adult Swim shows, like they try to kind of get back that '80s nostalgia, but they don't quite hit it.
Oh man, that would be so difficult. I mean, it's just such a different mindset.
Yeah,
That was just crazy, man. That was crazy.
Oh gosh, yeah. Pee-wee's Playhouse. Yeah. Let's see, I would do Mask, Centurions. There was another one. Voltron, the original Voltron. Yeah. Oh gosh, Mazinger Z, I think, was another early anime I watched. Robot anime. I remember that one had the girl mech and her breasts were missiles. I was like, that's amazing. Like, I was 8 years old watching this. I'm like, it's great. use the boob missiles again. You know?
Yeah. Now, what's interesting to me is like the Saturday morning cartoons. They had a different vibe than the after school cartoons, because after school cartoons it was more action packed. It was G.I. Joe and Transformers and stuff like that. And Saturday morning it was Smurfs, Pee-wee's Playhouse, Gummy Bears and stuff like that.
Gummy bears jumping here and there and everywhere. I remember the Gummy Bears. Yeah. Gummy bear juice.
That was my. So there you go. But so I guess we covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah. We didn't quite go off on so many tangents, but
Yeah.
It's okay. Sometimes we can keep a tight show, tight like a tiger.
Yeah. That's it. Four in the books, man.
There we go. Yeah, with many more to come, hopefully.
Yeah,
I was stressing this game. I was like, man, I need a game, and then it just came to me. I was like, sweet, I'll do this one.
Nice. Yeah. That's kind of what happened to me when I sent you that message. I had just finished playing this game. I was so in love with it.
Nice. And I think I may have already got my next game too, because I just played a game. I just finished a game today that reminded me so much of a game I played in the arcades. It wasn't a home console. It was in the arcades in the 80s and 90s. So
nice.
I think I know. I think I know what I'm doing.
I better get cracking.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, man.
All right.
I guess we're done here.
So, I need to go check my Depends. Make sure I'm still good.
So you're good to go.
By the angle of the sun in the sky, I can tell it's bedtime.
There you go. All right, man. Well, I enjoyed it.
Me too. Until next time.
All right. Later, guys.
Peace.
Hello and welcome to Wakavania. I'm Wakapale, and I recently played through the Game Pass Play Anywhere Metroidvania Touhou Luna Nights. I've heard Touhou Luna Nights is an offshoot from a shoot-'em-up series. The game appears to assume you're familiar with its characters, and jumping in cold feels like watching the last episodes of a long-running TV series. Not that the narrative is the main draw of Touhou Luna Nights, but it can be confusing for newcomers. Without researching the backstory, this is my take. You play as a time-bending, knife-wielding maid who works for vampires. The protagonists have very combative magical girl friends/enemies who also has magical powers. The game takes place in an alternate reality, created by the protagonist's bored mistress who dumps her maid into her created world to knife through hordes of demons for her amusement. There are some plot twists along the way, but knowing very little about these characters, it felt very nonsensical to me. Fortunately, the gameplay is really fun, with nice pixel art, good 2D gameplay with fun traversal, time puzzles and boss fights. At first, I found the game more difficult than I anticipated, as I had heard it was way easier than its 3.7 ratio suggests. After somewhat struggling through the first areas and bosses, I found the 1000 Daggers ability, which turned the rest of the game into a cakewalk. Touhou Luna Nights has 21 achievements worth 1000 game score and 3700 TA. There are only 2 achievements which can be troublesome going in blind. Vending machines act as healing stations, and you drop a can behind you after using them. You have to stop time and place yourself at a trash can by every vending machine for one achievement. The other, surprisingly easy achievement is for completing the game without using retries. Every time you die, just choose exit instead of retry, and the 5.0 ratio achievement unlocks when you finish the game. When starting the game, you won't need to look at the achievement list or any other guides unless you get stuck, as Touhou Luna Nights is not very long, rather straightforward, and the puzzles are not difficult. After completing the game, you can easily look up a map to see what you missed and mop things up. If you end up struggling, abusing the time stop and 1000 daggers combo makes the game rather easy. But after completing the main game, the extra post-main game area, you have to complete a boss rush within 6 minutes. To be able to do this, you will likely have to do some level and gem grinding to be able to kill the bosses fast enough. The best spot appears to be in the corridor just before the last boss of the post-main game area. It might be a bit repetitive, but after grinding to level 40, I breezed through the boss rush, narrowly missing the 6 minutes time in my first attempt due to my rubbish 1000 daggers aim, then easily completing it in my second attempt. Touhou Luna Nights is not a top tier Metroidvania, but I found it really enjoyable and it doesn't outstay its welcome. I'm pretty sure I went way below the 8 to 10 hour time estimate. Speedrunners have done 100% runs in less than 45 minutes, but 5 hours is probably more realistic for your first playthrough. $18 is a steep price for Touhou Luna Nights, so make sure you play it before it leaves Game Pass. The usual 2 weeks notice is more than enough time to complete it. Have a nice day, everyone.